to trial. Take it to trial. Welcome in, grab a seat, hit the like and subscribe. Cause Sweet Peas on the mic with that spicy little vibe. Got the courtroom streaming in the chat going wild. We're debating heavy topics but still laughing like a child. From objections to confessions to the judge's side eye. If it's justice and it's messy, we gon' talk about why. Every day's a new case, every moment's a ride. And when Sweet Peas in the building, we be learning with pride. Minds on deck, keep the room running smooth. Film freak therapist, you know, keeping everyone in the groove. Right to with the facts, pretty brown girl with the sass. Moreldia and Fowler keep the peace in the chat. But Jason walks in and the ladies collapse. Chocolate, take it to trial, where the truth gets loud and the laughs run wild. Sweet Peas got the spice, she's the queen of the aisle. Chat fam rolling deep, we've been here a while. Lights on, mics up, we gon' do this right. Take it to trial, every day, every night. Take it to trial. Morning shows are sharp, afternoon is on fire. And we catch every moment that the court might inspire. From witnesses whispering, the lawyers trying to hard. You know Sweet Pea breaks it down like a legal tarot card. Chats cracking jokes, dropping theories on the fly. We're serious when it counts, but we still testify. Minds hold it down when the trolls try to play. If you're out of line, court adjourned for the day. But when Jason logs in with that deep hello sound, the ladies in the chat, man, they all fall down. Take it, 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 take it to trial, where the truth gets loud and the laughs run wild. Sweet Peas got the spice, she's the queen of the aisle. Chat fam rolling deep, we've been here a while. Lights on, mics up, we gon' do this right. Take it to trial, every day, every night. Take it to trial. When the sun goes down and the cases get deep, after dark gets spicy, no secrets to keep. Taboo topics, big laugh, slap, happy crew. Sweet Pea says behave, but we never really do. It's opinions, confessions, stories untold, but we handle it with heart like the chat made a goal. Hey! Take it to trial, from day to night and every wild mile. Sweet Peas nearly strong with her trademark style, and the fam in the chat always makes it worthwhile. Turn it up, show some love, hit the like on sight. Take it to trial, yeah, we live tonight. Take it to trial, yeah, we live tonight. Take it to trial. Yeah, yeah. Junkie on the freeway, white claw in the breeze. 2 hours there, 2 back, still typing with ease. LA lanes locked, but she don't slow down. Show up every time, yeah, she runs this town. Sitting in the traffic, but she locked in chat. If Sweet Pea goes live, yeah, she's right on that. From the 405 to wherever we at. Junkie pulling up like y'all good, I'm back. Different time zones, same front row seats. No matter where we are, we all meet in the feed. We the California's rolling deep on 9. 4 corners, 1 crew, yeah, the vibes align. From the coast to the chat, yeah, we show up right. If you're lost downstream, we gon' guide your light. Californians, yeah, we stay in the mix. 4 names, 1 flame, you can't remix this.
SD rolling with the sunset glow. West Coast haze where the good vibes flow. Little bit lifted, yeah, she stays serene. Ocean breeze mixed with the evergreen. Late to the stream, but she still gon' slide. Panel opens up, she already inside. Hold up, I'm here, yeah, she dropping bars. Calm, cool energy, no matter how far.
She got that FOMO, scrolling every stream. Little lost downstream, but she part of the team. New to the crew, but she locked in fast. Super chats flying, yeah, she built to last. Wait, where we at? But we got her back. Pointed to the right stream, never off track. Now she vibing with us, no need to roam. Anywhere we at, yes, Susie home.
Shamrock, yeah, Shamrock checking in from across the map. Different time zone, but she bridging the gap. Y'all good every time, yeah, she mean that. Heart so big, you can't teach that. Algorithm running, she keep it alive. Dropping love in the chat, keep the whole thing thrive. Quiet power, steady hand in the dark. Every stream glowing, got a Shamrock spark.
Yeah. Junkie, 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 junkie.
Josie, Shamrock. Jam rocks.
Junkie, 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 junkie.
Josie, jam rocks. Jam
Where
rocks.
we to California, say the name twice. Show up every stream, yeah, we never think twice. From the traffic jams to the ocean tide, from the lost links to the worldwide ride. Californians, yes, yeah, yeah, we stay in the mix. Four names, one flame, can't remix this. Oh, oh, yeah, yeah. Oh, Californians, Californians, yes.
Good morning, good morning, good morning, everyone. I tell you what a confusing thing this morning that we had going on. We thought we was gonna have a hearing. I guess I don't know who decided to push it back so far, but it looks like the Alicia Andrews new trial and for her motions to be held, it's been pushed back to the 22nd, but that's totally fine. You know, we in many and plenty of different courtrooms, so we'll just start with our Josie trial that they have started already this morning. And when it is time for the Fooligans for their DP phase to start, then we'll go into there, okay? Let's see here. Good morning. Well, probably afternoon for you now, Marilda. Early evening. Hey, Martina, same for you. Early afternoon, evening. Hey, pretty. How are you? Hey, lady. Hey, Lynn. Morning, morning, morning. Hey, Jason. Hey, Susie. Susie Q. Yeah, I tell you, I was like, okay, it is way too early for this old debacle of a mess here. I don't know what they were doing this morning. And I was looking in the court documents. I don't even see who asked for the change of time or whatever. I've been definitely trying to look at it. Hopefully everybody had a good Mother's Day weekend. If I didn't have an opportunity to say happy Mother's Day, happy belated Mother's Day to you guys. With that being said, our day will go like we'll go into this trial and then we won't really have TiVo time, guys, just so you're aware. And what we'll do is we will go into the Fulio redrum case later, the murder trial for their death penalty phase today. I know that we have Corey being sentenced on the 13th. So make sure you mark your calendars and have that ready because we will go into her sentencing. So that'll be a pretty busy day for us because I'm pretty sure we may still be in this trial too. But we'll try to get it, you know, do what we do to get it all accomplished. She'll be sentenced. She thought she was going to be able to push it back, but that did not happen. So there's that. Okay, so we are going to go in and start with today's coverage and see what our judge got. We should be wrapping up this case too. This case should be going to the jury fairly soon, but let's see.
Mr. Bowles coming, or is? Yeah, I can wait. I gotta get my computer up running anyway, so. Thank you. Oh, he comes. He's coming. Okay. So this is 23 CF 475 State versus Josie Dikeman appearances.
Kathy Torbinson, Emily Root appear for the state, also present as state's counsel, as well as Investigative Sergeant Rich Amundsen.
Morning, Your Honor. Ms. Dikeman appears in person with her attorneys Chris Acker and David Bowles, also present as paralegal Emily Sanchez.
So at the end of last week, we were still in the directive, Investigator Amundsen, so we'll start back up there. Do we have some issues to talk about before we bring? All right. Do we have some issues to talk about before we bring the jury in, Mr. Torbinson?
I don't believe so.
Mr. Zacher?
Oh, Your Honor.
All right. Okay, the jury's here, right? When they're ready, bring them on in. Okay. All right, everybody may be seated. Good morning, everyone. Hope you had a relaxing weekend. We're actually going to swear you in one more time, just because it's been the weekend. We will start up where we left off, and we'll go from there. All right, go ahead and swear in, investigator.
Do you solemnly swear the testimony given this matter shall be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I do. And just so everybody, we're still in the directive, Mr. Investigator Robinson. So go ahead, Attorney Root.
Judge. Sergeant, I'll give you the last packet of here. Hold on to those. Okay, so in last week's testimony, we saw that Ms. Dikeman received a call from Deputy Path on the 10th of February, correct?
Correct.
So if she had concerns after Mr. Pedron was arrested that night, she could have called Deputy Path back, correct?
Correct.
In addition to having the phone number for Deputy Path, did Ms. Dikeman previously communicate with Lieutenant Williams about a separate and unrelated investigation in the months preceding Alex's death?
Objection calls for hearsay.
Offer for the truth in the matter or the effect on the listener?
The effect on listener.
Okay, I'll go ahead then.
Can you repeat the question?
Did, in addition to her having Deputy Path's number, did she also have contact information for Sergeant Williams?
Yes, Josie Dikeman did.
And that was related to a unrelated investigation. Is that correct?
Correct.
And therefore, she also would have been able to communicate with him if there had been an issue, but she wasn't comfortable talking to Deputy Path about it. Is that correct?
Correct.
Sergeant, if I can have you look at Exhibit 129. Is this a record of the communication that Ms. Dikeman had with then Sergeant Williams, from the month of September 2022 through January of 2022,
Judge,
or 2023?
Judge, same continuing objection, hearsay, confrontation, speculation, relevance.
And Your Honor, I'm not going to go into the content of the messages or what it was about, just that there were messages.
That's fine. Go ahead.
Yes.
And how many messages back and forth does this record contain?
198.
And from your review of the records, does it reflect a fair and accurate representation of the communication between Ms. Dikeman and Lieutenant Williams from September 2022 through January of 2023?
Yes.
And does it indicate that Lieutenant Williams was actually saved as a contact in her phone as Sergeant Williams?
Yes.
Your Honor, I would move for the admission of Exhibit 129 for the limited purposes it was testified to.
Any objection to that?
Same objection.
Okay, it'll be received for the limited purposes it was used. Go ahead.
Sergeant Amundsen, what was the last date of the messages contained in Exhibit 129?
January 11th, 2023 at 9:46 a.m.
So certainly, if she didn't feel like she had enough of a comfort level to reach out to Deputy Path, there was somebody in your agency who she had had a lot of previous contact with. Is that correct?
Yes.
Sergeant, last week we talked about communication data and the other data that was retrieved from the initial extraction of Ms. Dikeman's cell phone, and also the messages received through the legal process on Facebook. Do you remember that?
Yes.
And if I could have you refer to Exhibit 130, specifically related to the Cellbrite data or the cell phone extraction data. Is this a preliminary device report related to that first Apple iPhone that was seized and extracted related to this investigation?
Yes.
And that was Ms. Dikeman's phone?
Yes, that was the phone that Lieutenant Williams had acquired.
And does this exhibit truly and fairly accurately reflect the data retrieved from that cell phone extraction dated February 13th, 2023?
Yes.
I move for the admission of Exhibit 130.
Same objection.
Can't be received.
If you review the chart contained in this exhibit, Sergeant, does it indicate that the model of phone was an iPhone 12,1?
Yes.
And do you recall discussing the photos in Exhibit 113, documenting the process of attempting to retrieve data from Ms. Dikeman's Genie app?
Yes.
I believe that exhibit is also in front of you, Sergeant, if you want to refer to it. But does the model of phone from the February 13th extraction match the information shown on Exhibit 113, page 1 when you use this phone to log into the Genie app at 11:52 a.m. On the date of that search.
Yes.
And does that information help you identify which Genie login attempt was made by your agency?
Yes.
If we go back to Exhibit 130 and looking down at the Apple ID section, what email address is associated with this phone?
The Apple ID is Josie Marie.
And if you flip to page 2 of Exhibit 130, is that the same email address used for several of Ms. Dikeman's other accounts?
Yes.
I'm going to make you flip back to 113 again, Sergeant, and directing your attention to page 3. You see the entry showing that on February 19th, 2023, the kitchen camera was removed from the Genie app.
Yes.
And what email address is associated with that action?
Josie Marie, JZ.
With the phone in the preliminary device report.
Yes.
And finally, if you refer to the MSI SDN field in the chart, what phone number is associated with this phone?
1608.
Sergeant, are there limitations of a cell phone extraction?
Yes.
What are some of those limitations?
Some of the limitations are you don't always get all the information back, all the data from the cell phone. There could be items that have been deleted that cannot be retrieved. You don't see new data that could be gathered on applications from other devices. You're only going to see what was on that specific one.
So it's really a look back, is that correct?
Correct. It's looking back in time. You can't look forward in time on a cell phone extraction.
You mentioned that sometimes deleted items could be retrieved.
Correct.
Can you tell me a little more about that?
I'm not a Celebrite expert, but I do know that on Celebrite returns that we get, sometimes there's deleted items that can be recovered, and sometimes we don't get any of the information from deleted. I believe it has things to do with what version of Celebrite you're using. Just like anything else in this world, you can get the basic all the way to the premium, and the premium is a lot more money.
Does your department extract cell phones in-house within your own agency?
We do not.
Who do you rely on to do that?
Depending on the case, it could be the Home and Police Department has those capabilities. The City of La Crosse does as well. They will assist us. Otherwise, we would use the Wisconsin Department of Justice. There's either in Madison or Eau Claire. Depending on the investigation, they also have mobile units that can respond as well.
Is it necessary for you to have someone's passcode to be able to extract data?
Not necessarily. The information that you get from a locked phone compared to an unlocked phone can vary depending on which version of Celebrite is used.
Are there applications available to bypass passcodes if you don't have one?
There are some programs available to do that, and that success rate varies on what type of phone, what model phone, what manufacturer, things like that.
Related to that recoverable data, were you able to retrieve the May 2022 video related to the car from anyone's cell phone in this case, or did you have to locate that through another method?
Correct. Yeah, we did not retrieve that May of 2022 video from anyone's cell phone. It was a different way.
Did you eventually get it from Ms. Dikeman's Google account return?
Correct. One of the search warrants written early was a Google warrant, and that's how we got that video.
By the time you got that video, had Mr. Pedron already disclosed from his perspective what that incident was to you?
Yes.
And what significance did recovering that video have to the investigation?
I don't think it didn't show any physical abuse or anything like that, so it was more.
I'm going to object and move to strike. I think that both mischaracterizes, and it's an issue for the jury to determine what the video actually depicts.
And again, we're talking about theory of the case and that sort of thing, which we've gone into. And so I think he can explain what that had an effect on in terms of the investigation.
Go ahead. I mean, this is from his opinion.
Correct.
Go ahead.
When reviewing that video, we did not see any physical abuse by Derek Pedron. In fact, initially, one of the analysts thought it was Ms. Dikeman doing the yelling. Subsequent to that, Derek Pedron admitted that was him in the video doing those things. If anything, it added some credibility to what Derek was telling us.
As I'm going to object, Hazeltine, move to strike.
Yeah. Sustain that comment we struck. You cannot consider that comment. Go ahead.
When law enforcement requests records from companies like Google or cell phone carriers, like in this case, Verizon, are there steps you can take to preserve those records so that data can't be deleted before a company responds to your request?
Yes.
What's that process?
We can do preservation requests, whether it be Verizon, Google, Facebook, many other applications. It's a very short process, so we're able to put in an email address, other identifying information, and state that we want the information preserved so it cannot be deleted, because it may take days to write search warrants. They're quite lengthy for these applications. So we can freeze the accounts quickly and then take some more time to complete all the warrants to send there to get the information back. That way the user cannot delete it before we get the warrants there.
And in this case, there was approximately 3 months between Alex's death and issuing charges. Is that correct?
Yes.
That issuing of charges wasn't done until after that final autopsy report came back.
Correct.
And did you, or in the course of the investigation, review text messages exchanged between Ms. Dikeman and Mr. Pedron after Alex's death?
Yes.
Were those messages obtained through a search warrant request sent to Verizon?
Yes.
And did those messages give you some insight into the nature of their communications during that time period?
Yes.
Based on your review of those messages, did Ms. Dikeman express frustration in those days after Alex's death related to Derek not coming to be with her?
Yes.
If I can have you refer to Exhibit 131. Do you recognize this exhibit?
I do.
Is this a portion of the Verizon messaging between Ms. Dikeman and Mr. Pedron from part of the day on February 11th, 2023.
It is.
And specifically related to the Verizon records in this matter, in their raw form, were those in Eastern Standard Time?
Yes.
And is this a true and accurate representation of this portion of the record as received by your agency from Verizon?
It is.
Sergeant, how would you describe the readability of the information as it appears here on page 1?
There's a lot of technical information from Verizon that I quite frankly don't understand at all, but then the very end is that the message content as related to the phone numbers and dates. It's pretty garbled to read.
And so I'm going to have you refer to pages 2 and 3 of this exhibit. Was this portion of the exhibit created to present the information in a more reader-friendly format?
Yes.
But do pages 2 and 3 also fairly and accurately summarize the information contained on page 1?
Yes.
Your Honor, I'd move for the admission of Exhibit 131 and request to publish pages 2 and 3.
Can I say confrontation and right now?
May I see that? There's hearsay information in here. What did you?
And Judge, I would ask if the court would be willing to instruct the jury that that's not offered for the truth of the matter asserted. It's offered to show simply context with Ms. Dikeman's statements.
And Judge, it's still a confrontation problem in that the witness who made the statement is not available for, or was not produced for cross-examination at the time of the statement.
Well, materials were available at the time. What the court will do is go ahead, I'll allow you to use the chart. I will say that the statements by Mr. Pennerin are not being offered for the truth of the matter. We don't know. There's no opportunity to cross-examine that individual. Given that, you can see you are allowed to look at the reactions by Ms. Dikeman. Go ahead. It will be received for that purpose only.
If I can have the computer display, please. Sergeant, we'll start with page 2 here. If you can read to the jury what these messages say.
Well, the top portion of this graph does show that it's in Central Standard Time. So it's not in the Eastern as we received. This is from February 11th of 2023. You want me to read Ms. Dikeman's
yes.
statement? Okay.
Thank you.
At 10:04 p.m., Josie Dikeman messages, "I get you out and you just go to your POS dad's. He didn't give a fuck about Alex, just his motorcycle. Who does that? Someone dies and he is worried about getting his stupid bike. You weren't here for me or anyone else who is falling apart. You go to You Are Selfish Dads. At 10:05 p.m., Josie Dikeman messages, "Good night, Derek!" exclamation point. "I'll talk to you tomorrow, maybe." Can I read Derek's or not?
Go ahead for context.
Okay, at 10:05 p.m., Derek Pedron messages, "I went there because the detective dropped his card off. There's that only reason." At 10:06 p.m., Josie Dikeman responds, "What card, question mark?" At 10:06 p.m., Josie Dikeman messages, "For what?" 10:06 p.m., Derek Pedron messages, "I do care about my sons and I can't be with you. I tried to be and went to jail." At 10:06 p.m., Josie Dikeman messages, "Why, you are dads." 10:06 p.m., Derek Pedron messages, "To call him."
Moving to page 3 of this exhibit. You can read those messages.
At 10:06 p.m., Derek Pedron messages, "IDKY." 10:06 p.m., Josie Dikeman messages, "You could have went anywhere else." At 10:07 p.m., Derek Pedron messages, "We did. We were at my mom's. Then my dad texted that the detective dropped his card off and wanted me to call him, so we went and got it." At 10:08 p.m., Derek Pedron messages, "You don't think if I could be by you right now, I would?" 10:10 p.m., Derek Pedron messages, "We are supposed to be there for each other right now." 10:10 p.m., Josie Dikeman texts, "What did detective say?"
Sergeant, was the phone number associated with Ms. Dikeman in these Verizon records 608-863, or excuse me,
Yes.
was that a different phone number than the number that was connected to the cell phone extracted on the 13th of February?
Yes.
And when reviewing these messages throughout the investigation, did Ms. Dikeman at times express concern about law enforcement seeing or reading her communications?
Yes.
Judge, I'm going to object. Speculation, lack of foundation.
I'm getting into the foundation, Judge. It's in the
Okay.
next exhibit.
Go ahead.
I'm just trying to lay the foundation for the exhibit, which it's a little bit of a cycle, so.
Okay, go ahead.
And did you also observe messages where Ms. Dikeman discussed using different accounts or methods of communication?
Yes.
I can have you refer to Exhibit 132, Sergeant. And does this document fairly and accurately reflect a portion of the Verizon records you reviewed in this investigation related to communication between Ms. Dikeman and Mr. Pedron?
Yes.
And specifically, again, does page 1 contain messages back and forth between them in the early hours of February 12th, 2023?
Yes.
Turning to pages 2 and 3, is this portion of the exhibit a fair and accurate summary of the information contained on page 1?
Yes.
And Your Honor, would also move to admit this exhibit and request to publish with the caveat that the information pertaining to Mr. Pedron's responses is not being offered for the truth of the matter, but just to show context in the conversation with Ms. Dikeman.
Judge, for the record, hearsay, confrontation again, and once more, this was handed to me about a minute ago.
Again, the statements that are going to be offered here from Mr. Pedrin are not being offered the truth of the matter. They are just context to understand what the conversation. There are a number of statements from Ms. Dikeman. Court's going to overrule the objection, allow it to be received and be published.
So Sergeant, we're now looking at Exhibit 132, page 2. Can you please indicate the date these messages are from and then the contents of the conversation?
It's from February 12th of 2023 with the times converted from Eastern to Central Standard Time. At 12:05 a.m., Josie Dikeman messages, "What's my number?" Again, at 12:05 a.m., Josie Dikeman messages, "I'm going to go smoke and I'll call you. Why? But send me my number fast." 12:05 a.m., Derek Pedrin responds with 60793. 12:06 a.m., Derek Pedrin responds, "Why you need it." 12:08 a.m., Josie Dikeman messages, "Trying to set up Messenger." 12:08 a.m., Josie Dikeman messages, "I'm going to put your phone number in, see if you get a code." 12:09 a.m., Josie Dikeman messages, "You get a code?" 12:09 a.m., Josie Dikeman messages, question mark. 12:09 a.m., Derek Pedrin replies no.
Moving on to page 3 of Exhibit 132. You can do the same for this page, Sergeant.
Again, February 12th, 2023, times converted from Eastern to Central Standard. 12:09 a.m., Josie Dikeman messages WTF. 12:11 a.m., Derek Pedrin responds IDK. 12:11 a.m., Derek Pedrin messages, "Is it a new one?" 12:11 a.m., Derek Pedrin messages, "Or you are old one." 12:13 a.m., Josie Dikeman messages, "New one, otherwise detective sees what I talk about." 12:14 a.m., Derek Pedrin replies, "Then IDK, why it not working?" 12:14 a.m., Derek Pedrin messages, "You made a whole new Facebook." 12:15 a.m., Josie Dikeman responds, "Just Messenger."
Sergeant, in that same time period of messages, did Ms. Dikeman also express questions or concern about whether the children were going to be interviewed?
Yes.
And if I can have you refer, to Exhibit 133. Is this another portion of the Verizon records which show messaging between Ms. Dikeman and Mr. Pedrin on the 12th of February, 2023?
Yes.
And is it a fair and accurate, or is the data fair and accurate compared to your review of those records?
Yes.
Moving to pages 2 and pages 3, do those pages fairly and accurately summarize the information contained on page 1?
Yes.
And Your Honor, I'd move for the exhibit or admission of Exhibit 133 and request to publish pages 2 and 3 of the exhibit with the understanding that Mr. Pedrin's statements are being offered for context only and not for the truth of the matter asserted.
Same objection as before, particularly confrontation hearsay, and I was just handed this document now.
The characterization in your earlier question that this is being offered to indicate that Ms. Dikeman's concern over the interviews?
It was questioning or concern. I may have used both of those words, but conversations about the interview, Your Honor. Obviously, the jury can, the benefit of them seeing the message is that they can judge for themselves.
Well, if
Content.
it's being offered just about the exchange of the fact that children are going to be interviewed, the court would allow this to happen. I think the characterization that it's a concern is, I think that's up to the jury to decide.
Absolutely, Judge.
All right, so it's not being offered for the truth of the matter of what Mr. Pedron is saying. It's only being offered for what Ms. Dikeman is saying. Go ahead.
Have the display, please.
And I should respond, I'm sorry, I should. So it's being received. I do accept your objection. You're saying, it's my understanding the Celebrate information you did have, but you didn't have the table.
We didn't have the table. We and I would add an additional ground that, yeah, I don't think that this document is responsive to the actual question and how that was phrased.
Yeah, the court has modified that for that reason. Go ahead.
Judge. Okay, Sergeant, if you can let us know when these messages occurred and the content of the messages, please. We'll start with page 2 of Exhibit 133.
From February 12th of 2023, times again converted from Eastern Standard to Central Standard Time. 12:34 a.m., Josie Dikeman sends, "I need to know if they are going to talk to the kids tomorrow or not." 12:35 a.m., Derek Pedron responds, "IDK." 12:36 a.m., Derek Pedron states, "He said something like that. He said they were going to talk to the kids, but if they did already, IDK." 12:37 a.m., Josie Dikeman responds, "CPS did." 12:37 a.m., Josie Dikeman states, "Why didn't you pay attention?" 12:37 a.m., Josie Dikeman messages, "You are kids." 12:38 a.m., Derek Pedron messages, "Yeah, he said someone was meeting with them at 10.
And I'll go to page 3 of Exhibit 133.
February 12th of 2023, Eastern Standard back to Central. 12:38 a.m., Derek Pedron messages, "I did pay attention. I'm sorry, there is a lot on my mind right now." Josie Dikeman, 12:39 a.m., messages, "WTF, all right, I need to get sleep." 12:39 a.m., Derek Pedron messages, "He said to talk to them because they were in the house." 12:40 a.m., Derek Pedron messages, "Are you going to be able to be with them?" 12:40 a.m., Josie Dikeman messages, "Okay, love you. I gotta try to sleep so I can be there."
So in that last message, Ms. Dikeman does express that she's going to try to be there, correct?
Yes,
And were either Ms. Dikeman or Mr. Pedron allowed to go to the children's forensic interviews?
they were not.
And why not?
Again, we wanted to keep the children separate from the two adults in the house until the forensic interviews.
Mr. Pedron's first interview with law enforcement took place on February 14th, 2023. And I should say his first formal sit-down interview, correct?
Correct.
He had previously had some phone calls with law enforcement.
Yes.
And in the messages you reviewed between Ms. Dikeman and Mr. Pedron, was there some discussion on the 14th of February about Mr. Pedron's meeting with law enforcement?
Yes,
Have you referred to Exhibit 134? This another portion of the Verizon records that came back through the search warrant related to Ms. Dikeman and Mr. Pedron's communication.
yes,
And to be clear, Sergeant, are these the form of the records that were or would have been handed over to defense counsel in the discovery process?
Objection calls for speculation, lack of foundation.
And we'll deal with that at a different time. I understand why you're asking, but he doesn't necessarily know.
But if he does, Your Honor, I mean, if he's
I mean,
familiar with the process.
If he knows it was, but he doesn't know, move on. This is part of the discovery question. So, I mean,
Okay.
yeah, are you saying he actually is the one who delivered them?
No, I'm not, Your Honor,
All right,
but I
okay,
wasn't
go
either.
ahead.
So, I mean,
It's the normal discovery process, right?
and specifically, do these records relate to a conversation they had on the date of February 24, or excuse me, 14th?
February 14th of 2023, yes.
Turning to page 2 and 3 of this document, do these pages fairly and accurately summarize the contents of page 1?
Yes,
Your Honor, I move for the admission and publication of Exhibit 134.
Same previous objections, Judge. Hearsay, confrontation, relevant speculation. Just once more, this was handed to me about a minute ago.
Most of these are comments made by Ms. Dikeman. Again, the statements by Mr. Pedron are not being offered the truth of the matter, just context in this situation. Please disregard those statements. Just go ahead. Will be received and allowed for that purpose.
Judge. Sergeant, looking at Exhibit 134, page 2, can you please explain to the jury the date of these messages and then the contents of the messages?
they're from February 14th of 2023 with the times converted from Eastern Standard to Central Time. At 10:35 a.m., Josie Dikeman messages, "I got you pants and your medicine." 10:35 a.m., Josie Dikeman messages, "Good luck with court. Call me when questioning is done. I love you. Good luck, babe." 10:40 a.m., Josie Dikeman messages, "I think you should listen to your attorney and not go talk to the investors." At 10:41 a.m., Josie Dikeman messages, "Can you call me after court?" 10:46 p.m., Josie Dikeman messages, "How did it go, babe?" 12:51 p.m., Derek Pedron messages, "Okay, where are you?" 12:57 p.m., Josie Dikeman messages, "About to leave, where are you?" 12:57 p.m., Derek Pedron messages, "In car, leave where?" 12:58 p.m., Josie Dikeman messages, "IDK, waiting for my mom to get done with talking to them." 12:59 PM, Josie Dikeman messages, "Where are you going now?" Continued on to February 14th of 2023, converted from Eastern to Central Standards.
Want to switch pages?
Oh, thank you, Judge.
12:59 PM, Derek Pedron messages, "Talking to who?" 12:59 PM, Josie Dikeman responds to Sergeant Williams, I think. 1 PM, Josie Dikeman messages, "How did court go?" 1 PM, Derek Pedron messages, "Okay." Again at 1 PM, Derek Pedron messages, "You're there." 1 PM, Josie Dikeman messages, "What did they say?" 1:01 PM, Derek Pedron messages, "They are leaving no contact as is due to circumstances." 1:04, Josie Dikeman messages, "What did the detectives ask?" 1:06 PM, Derek Pedron messages, "Just asked where we have lived about incident in Joplin and shit like that."
So Sergeant, in these messages, Ms. Dikeman is telling Mr. Pedron good luck. She's calling him babe. She's telling him she loves him, correct?
Yes,
And she's asking about what law enforcement had questioned Mr. Pedron about, correct?
yes,
These messages were exchanged after Alex's autopsy had been completed, correct?
yes,
Autopsy was on the 13th.
yes,
And these messages were also exchanged after the children's forensic interviews had been done.
yes.
When Ms. Dikeman was charged in this matter, did law enforcement seize a Google Android phone and another iPhone from her?
We did.
And were extractions completed on those phones?
Yes,
If I can have you refer to Exhibit 135, is this the preliminary device report related to the Google Android phone that was extracted in this matter on the 22nd of May, 2023?
yes,
And does this report fairly and accurately reflect the information regarding the device information and user accounts
yes,
related to the cell phone extraction?
it does.
Your Honor, I'd move for the admission of Exhibit 135.
Judge, once more, I got this about 10 seconds ago. I have not had a chance to compare this for accuracy. Same objections as previously.
And Your Honor, this is a report generated directly from the Cellbrite program.
Okay. This was, again, part of discovery, I see.
It was.
Will be received.
Looking at this device report, Sergeant, does the phone number associated with this phone, or is that phone number 608?
Yes, it's actually 1608 73.
From your review of the Cellbrite data related to this phone, did it also contain communication between Ms. Dikeman and Mr. Pedron?
Yes,
If I can have you turn to Exhibit 136, Sergeant. Is this an extraction report from the Google Android phone seized from Ms. Dikeman and extracted on the 22nd of May, 2023.
Yes.
And does this particular exhibit capture the text messages between Ms. Dikeman and Mr. Pedron that were contained on this phone?
Yes.
And can you tell us how many messages in total this portion of the Cellbrite extraction contains?
170.
Your Honor, I'd move for the admission of Exhibit 136. And for the record, Judge, this is the entire record. I'm going to ask some specific questions. Before I ask specific questions, I'll refer to the line, but this is just being provided so that the full record is made part of the record.
As long as the
Not asking for all the contents to be.
you're not asking for the contents, it's just the days when the exchanges were.
Yes, for this particular purpose, I am going to go into some of the messages, but I'll identify those before I do, so counsel has a chance to.
Go ahead.
Judge, the same objections.
Well, Exhibit 136 is received.
Specifically related to message number 1, Sergeant, is this a outgoing message from Ms. Dikeman to Mr. Pedron?
Yes.
And in this particular cell phone, is Mr. Pedron's phone number associated with the contact name T, and that's just the letter T?
Yes.
And what is the content of that first message?
Why did you block me?
And can you give us the date and time that that was sent?
4/25 of 2023 at 12:13 and 47 seconds.
Again, that was a message from Ms. Dikeman to Mr. Pedron.
Yes.
Is that AM or PM? Or military time?
PM.
If I could have you refer now to Exhibit 137, Sergeant. Does this exhibit contain a summary of the text messages contained in the Cellbrite extraction from Ms. Dikeman to Mr. Pedron on 4/26 or April 26th of 2023?
Yes.
And specifically, is this a summary of the messages Ms. Dikeman sent to Mr. Pedron on lines 36 through 40 of Exhibit 136?
Yes.
Does it fairly and accurately summarize that information?
Yes.
Your Honor, I'd move for the admission and publication of Exhibit 137.
Judge, this one is part of it's a fraction of the messages that we submitted in Exhibit 210. I'm not going to object to it for that purpose, but under the rule of completeness, I'll ask to include the remaining messages in that sequence from 210.
You know, when you get to the point of cross, you can do that. Yeah, these are, go ahead.
Okay, Sergeant, can you please let us know when these messages were sent and the contents of the messages?
From April 26th of 2023, times converted to Central Standard, line 36. 2:47 p.m., Josie Dikeman sends, "Fuck you, dude. I'm releasing these videos." Line 37 at 2:47 p.m., Josie Dikeman messages, "The world can see the true Derek." Line 38, 2:48 p.m., Josie Dikeman messages, "Starting with the ones of you beating Alex." Line 39 at 2:51 p.m., Josie Dikeman messages, "Don't forget to check the news tomorrow!" Exclamation point. "They will have the SD card!" Exclamation point. "I'm done with you acting like you were perfect, comma. You will see how perfect you are, or were." Exclamation point. Line 40 at 2:53 p.m., Josie Dikeman messages, "I'm sick of you constantly putting me down, acting like you were some sweet Prince Charming!" Exclamation point. "I think everyone needs to know the truth."
And Sergeant, did law enforcement ever receive an SD card from Ms. Dikeman after this date, April 26, 2023?
No, we did not.
Moving on to Exhibit 138. Is this the preliminary device report for the Apple iPhone that was seized from Ms. Dikeman and extracted on the 22nd of May, 2023?
It is.
And does the information contained in this report represent true and accurate reflection of the device information and user accounts that were generated as part of that cell phone extraction?
Yes.
I'll move for the admission, Your Honor, of Exhibit 138.
Same previous objections.
Should be received.
Sergeant, is the model of the iPhone as indicated on the device report an iPhone 13,2?
Yes.
And on this phone, is Ms. Dikeman, again, using her original number of 1?
Yes, she is.
Moving to Exhibit 139, Sergeant. Is this a extraction report related to the instant messages sent between Ms. Dikeman and Mr. Pedrin on this Apple iPhone?
Yes, it is.
And how many total messages are represented in this report?
1,288.
And is this a fair and accurate reflection of the data that was downloaded from the phone and your review of it?
It is.
Your Honor, I'd move for the admission of 139. Again, not at this point for specific messages, but just to complete the record.
Okay. Same objections, I assume.
Same objections, and I'd also note this was just handed to me recently, and I haven't had a chance to check these for accuracy.
Okay. Be received.
Again, Sergeant, in this phone is Mr. Pedrin's cell phone number saved under the contact with the letter T?
Yes.
And in this selection of messages is the first message in the series a message from Ms. Dikeman to Mr. Pedrin?
Yes, it is.
And can you please tell the jury the date and time of that message and what the content is?
The first message is from April 28th of 2023 at 2:08 p.m. The content states, "From Josie Dikeman to Mr. Pedrin, My point is, this phone should be clean.
Sergeant, if I can have you flip to page 24 of this exhibit. And I am going to refer specifically to lines 567 and 568. You can let me know when you're there.
I'm there.
Eventually, in these messages, does Ms. Dikeman confront Mr. Pedron about recording her?
Yes.
And Sergeant, can you please read the messages contained in 567 and 568, including the time and the contents of what Ms. Dikeman said to Mr. Pedron?
That for purposes of the rule of completeness, I'd also ask that he read 569 and 570.
I'll give you an opportunity in cross-examination. Go ahead. Unless you want to just speed this up and do 569 and 570.
That's fine, Judge.
Okay, go ahead.
All right. On May 8th of 2023, Josie Dikeman, or sorry, I'll take a step back here. On May 8th of 2023 at 10:29 and 9 seconds a.m., Josie Dikeman messages Derek Pedron. They ask you to wear a wire on me and record our calls, and you have period wow. Josie Dikeman messages again, May 8th, 2023, 10:29 and 12 seconds a.m. WTF to Derek Pedron. May 8th, 2023 at 10:29 and 30 seconds a.m. Josie Dikeman messages Derek Pedron. Our whole relationship was a fucking lie. On May 8th of 2023 at 10:30 and 3 seconds a.m., Josie Dikeman messages Derek Pedron. You people are searching for something that isn't there. I didn't do anything.
Sergeant, in that string of messages you just read, nowhere in there does Ms. Dikeman indicate to Mr. Pedron that he's the source of Alex's injuries, correct?
String of 4 messages, just
That was my exact question.
That is correct.
Almost done, Sergeant. If I can have you refer to Exhibit 140, please. Does this exhibit contain text messages between Ms. Dikeman and Mr. Pedron, spanning from May 10th of 2023 to May 11th of 2023?
Yes.
And is this again a summary of the data contained in Exhibit 139?
Yes.
And specifically, do the messages in this exhibit represent the content contained in lines 744 through 834 of Exhibit 139?
Yes.
And it fairly and accurately summarizes the information in those lines of that exhibit. Is that correct?
Yes.
Your Honor, I'd move for the admission and publication of Exhibit 140.
same exhibits as previously, Judge, or same objections as previously.
This is a particularly long one.
The last one, Judge.
Um,
Because I guess I'm not seeing the relevance of reading all of these. I'll agree with my objection standing that there was discussion about the relationship, but
yeah, rather than reading all of them, can we have them just summarize what's in here? I mean, it's about,
I think it'll take us about 5 minutes to get through, Judge. I think in the grand scheme of things, again, this is our last one.
okay, go ahead. I'm gonna let her put it in. Of course, you'll have the ability to cross-examine on the entire thing. Go ahead.
Okay, Sergeant, if you can explain to us when these messages were sent, and then the contents of the messages, please.
These messages are between May 10th and May 11th of 2023, with times converted to Central Standard. Line 744, 10:01 p.m. Josie Dikeman messages, I love you, but goodbye. Line 745, 10:01 p.m. Josie Dikeman messages, I'm fucking done. 746, 10:01 p.m. Derek Pedron messages, act like you want us. 747, 10:01 p.m. Josie Dikeman messages, I'm done. 748, 10:01 p.m. Derek Pedron, all you need to do, it's too hard. 749, 10:01 p.m. Josie Dikeman, another night alone. 750, 10:01 p.m. Josie Dikeman, I'm good. 751, 10:02 p.m. Josie Dikeman, you don't show shit. 752, 10:02 p.m. Derek Pedron, all you need to is stop with your mouth and BS. 753, 10:02 p.m. Derek Pedron, but you can't. 754, 10:05 p.m. Josie Dikeman, all you needed to do is come here and I'd show you all I want to give you. 755, 10:05 p.m. Josie Dikeman, but you can't. 756, 11 p.m. Josie Dikeman, I love you and miss you. 757, 11 p.m. Josie Dikeman, XO, XO, XO.
Moving on to page 2.
758, 11:01 p.m. Josie Dikeman, whatever, you have an hour. 759, 11:01 p.m. Josie Dikeman, didn't want to have another number, so I think I talked to dudes. 760, 11:01 p.m. Josie Dikeman, my bad. 761, 11:01 p.m. Josie Dikeman, ass. 762, 11:08 p.m. Josie Dikeman, I don't want the kids seeing me crying all the time. That's why I have to block you. 763, 11:08 p.m. Josie Dikeman, I'm sorry, you don't understand. 764, 11:08 p.m. Josie Dikeman, I love you. 765, 11:10 p.m. Derek Pedron, fuck it. 766, 11:11 p.m. Derek Pedron, you don't love shit. 767, 11:11 p.m. Derek Pedron, if you did, you would talk and listen. I'm hurt, you fuck. 768, 11:11 p.m. Derek Pedron, but all you care about is you. 769, 11:11 p.m. Derek Pedron, I'm out. 7:70, 11:27 PM, Josie Dikeman. None of what you said, I back that up. None of what you just said is love. 7:71, 11:27, Josie Dikeman. Wow.
Page 3 of Exhibit 140.
7:72, 11:28 PM, Derek Pedron. Fuck you and your love. 7:73, 11:28 PM, Derek Pedron. You don't love shit but you. 7:74 at 11:30 PM, Josie Dikeman, 30 minutes. 7:75, 11:31 PM, Josie Dikeman. I love you, but I won't be treated this way. Line 777, 11:31 PM, Derek Pedron with a link to Apple Music. The title appears to be My Heart Hurts. 7:78, 11:37 PM, Josie Dikeman. I love you, but I give up at midnight. 7:79, 11:37 PM, Josie Dikeman. I told you that. 7:80, 11:37 PM, Derek Pedron. Me too. 7:81 at 11:37 PM, Derek Pedron. I give up. 7:82, 11:37, Josie Dikeman. I want to show you love. 7:83, 11:37 PM, Derek Pedron. You can't be a normal person. 7:84, 11:37 PM, Derek Pedron. Everything is always a fight. 7:85, 11:37 PM, Derek Pedron. Everything. 7:86, 11:37 PM, Josie Dikeman. Either come here or lose me.
Moving to page 4 of Exhibit 140.
7:87 at 11:38 PM, Josie Dikeman. Don't want to fight. 7:88, 11:38 PM, Derek Pedron. You always got to be the victim or one up. 7:89, 11:38 PM, Josie Dikeman. Only love you. 7:90, 11:38 PM, Josie Dikeman. LOL, okay. 7:91, 11:38 PM by Derek Pedron. Laugh. 7:92 at 11:38 PM, Josie Dikeman. You are running out of time. 7:93, 11:38 PM, Derek Pedron, IDC. 7:94 at 11:38 PM, Josie Dikeman. Clearly, you are not coming. 7:95, 11:38 PM, Derek Pedron. It's not funny to me. 7:96, 11:38, Derek Pedron. I'm serious. 7:97, 11:39 PM, Derek Pedron. Actually, you are. 7:98, 11:39 PM, Josie Dikeman. Good, no. 7:99, 11:39 PM, Josie Dikeman. Night. 800, 11:39 PM from Derek Pedron. Treat me good and stop making me mad in purpose.
Moving to page 5 of 140.
8:02, 11:39 PM, Josie Dikeman. I'll leave stick out a door till midnight, dude. 8:03, 11:39 PM, Derek Pedron. Be an adult. 8:04, 11:39 PM, Derek Pedron. Good for you. 8:05, 11:39 PM, Derek Pedron. You want me there? Talk to me right. 8:06 at 11:40 PM, Josie Dikeman. You want my love? Come get it. 8:09, 11:40 PM, Derek Pedron. show me first. 8:12, 11:40 p.m., Josie Dikeman, it's always something. 8:13, 11:40 p.m., Derek Pedron, this is how you love, LOL. 8:14, 11:40 p.m., Josie Dikeman, 20 minutes. 8:15, 11:40 p.m., Derek Pedron, pretty shitty. 8:17, 11:44 p.m., Josie Dikeman, I deleted the app since you wanted to bitch, so after midnight, don't text nothing. 8:18 at 11:48 p.m., Josie Dikeman, calling the police then. 8:19, 12:06 a.m. on May 11th of 2023. Hey, 8:20, 12:06 a.m., Josie Dikeman, love you.
Last page, Sergeant.
8:21, 12:06 a.m., Josie Dikeman, always will. 8:22, 12:06 a.m., Josie Dikeman, with all my heart. 8:23, 12:07 a.m., Josie Dikeman, just wanted you to know that. 8:24, 12:09 a.m., Josie Dikeman, don't want me to talk now. 8:25 at 12:11 a.m., Josie Dikeman, I'm calling the police. 8:26 at 12:20 a.m., Josie Dikeman, you sure it's not Jenna? 8:27, 12:20 a.m., Josie Dikeman, I wanted you tonight and you ruined it. 8:28, 12:21 a.m., Josie Dikeman, I have feelings too. 8:29, 12:29 a.m., Josie Dikeman, whatever, good night. 8:30, 12:30 a.m., Josie Dikeman, I'll send you the new number I made to talk about kids. 8:31, 12:32 a.m., Josie Dikeman, IDK when I need time. 8:32, 12:33 p.m. from Derek Pedron, wow, K. 8:33, 12:36 a.m. from Josie Dikeman, love you. 8:34, 12:36 p.m., Josie Dikeman, sorry we couldn't be together.
Sergeant, these messages would have been after Ms. Dikeman found out, or at least after she had messaged Mr. Pedron about him recording their calls, correct?
Yes,
And this would have been after she had already threatened to release videos of him.
yes,
She mentions Jenna in these messages, correct?
at one point, yes.
And are there several messages within this time frame of April or May 2023 where Ms. Dikeman is asking Mr. Pedron if he's in a relationship with Jenna?
Yes.
Okay, moving on to the very last thing here, Sergeant. If I can have you look at Exhibit 141, please. I'm reviewing with you today because I wasn't fast enough. We were watching the body cam last week, but is this a still frame from the body cam that you were wearing on the 11th of February when you were processing the scene?
Yes,
And is this particular still frame from the timestamp 3 minutes and 21 seconds?
yes,
And is it a fair and accurate representation of the body cam or the view that your body cam had at that time?
yes.
I'm going to move on now to Exhibit 142. Can you tell me what we're looking at here?
This is a photo from the front door of Major's bedroom.
And is it a fair and accurate representation of how the room looked on the day you were processing the scene?
Yes.
And then if I can have you look at Exhibit 143. Is this a photo that was taken as part of the TRU mapping process?
Yes.
As part of that process that they snap hundreds and hundreds of photos of the inside of a house if they're mapping it?
Yes.
And is this a fair and accurate representation of that residence on the 14th of February when they were doing that process?
Yes.
Your Honor, I'd move for the admission of exhibits 141 through 143 and request to publish.
Objection.
To receive, publish.
We had them in discovery. Copy in.
Okay. Remind us here, Sergeant, what are we looking at in exhibit 141?
On the left-hand side of the screen, this is the red sheet that Josie Dikeman would use to conceal the opening to her bedroom. Couple coffee stands there, or coffee trays. This is the clothing bedroom that was referred to, and this is the front door to Major's bedroom with Deputy Jar looking younger than he is now.
So you're standing in the approximate location of where the curtain was hung over Ms. Dikeman's bedroom door, correct?
Can you repeat the question?
You're standing in this shot in the approximate area where the curtain is for Ms. Dikeman's bedroom door.
That's correct.
And facing Deputy Jar, who's in Major's room.
He's at the entrance of the doorway to Major's room, yes.
Then moving on to exhibit 142. Can you tell the jury what we're looking at here?
That's me standing at the threshold to Major's bedroom. You can see the door's a left hinge. The door swung open and just a straight picture into the room. This area here is Major's bed. And then you can kind of see a dresser like, and then a different picture, there's actually a little TV over here. There are walls there going this way.
You can tell me where the lamp is positioned in relation to the rest of the items in the room?
It's like right here by the closet. So this was a bifold closet door. It's partially open and the lamp is right there by the entrance of that.
But that doorway is open all the way, correct?
This is the front door to Major's room, which is all the way open.
And the lamp is behind that door, spatially in the room?
Correct.
Moving to exhibit 143, Sergeant, what are we looking at here?
This is a view from just inside of Major's bedroom, looking towards the opening to Miss Dikeman's bedroom. So you can see the red sheet here. The sheet's pulled up about halfway. You can see some of the items next to her be the left-hand side of the bed, like that dresser nightstand thing. These are the two coffee table things I was talking about, TV trays. You will notice that in this picture, it's different than in the previous picture because this electronic pad is not there on February 11th. Also missing is the gummies for the sleep aid. That's gone, but then the nap pad is there. So that's why the pictures are a little bit different. And then this is the lamp that we could see in Major's room from the previous picture.
So from this perspective, in the photo, we see both that door fully opened and also the lamp in the room, correct?
Correct.
And from that angle, you can see the doorway of Ms. Dikeman's room.
Well, you can see into Miss Dikeman's room, not just the doorway.
Thank you, Sergeant. I'm finished.
The court exhibits then, or?
Okay. Why don't we, just a second.
Those are ours. Okay.
Are you done with?
I am, Judge. Yes,
Okay.
we're done.
Why don't we take a morning break for 10, 15 minutes, whatever you need. We'll see you after the break.
Over there. Interrupted. Are you done? He is so over there. Martina, you have to be fully paying attention. I don't know what you're doing. You need to be fully paying attention so you can update us and let us know, especially for this quiz. So you are not allowed to be typing that into the chat.
So let's just take a break. See you back 10 after 10:15.
I wonder when the state decide. They supposed to be ending their case, y'all. Like I don't know when they're gonna do this, but they supposed to be doing this soon. Hopefully it's today.
So, oh, Mr. Bowles is not here yet.
Yeah, there was Josie. I knew she was in the courtroom. I was like, there's no reason for them to be having court without her. It feels so low. Let me see. I can probably try. I think I did try to boost the volume already. Yeah, I did. We may be SOL.
All the parties are present. I just want to let you know that I'm thinking the next couple days, I'm not going to do it today because I don't want to surprise the jury, is that we would go later on Tuesday and Wednesday, maybe 6. I don't usually like to do that. It's a problem with personnel and some other things. But given where we're at right now, I see if there's some way we can maybe have this concluded this week. But, you know, to be fair to everybody, I don't want to, I know you have to get through things. I'm not trying to rush it that much, but I wanted that, let's try not to be too redundant is what I'm asking. Having said that, anything we need to bring up from the state's perspective right now? No. And Mr. Zach or anything?
Just for the record, we maintain in particular our confrontation objection that these messages could have been presented with Mr. Pedrin during a time frame when I would have been able to cross-examine him about the context and their content. And since he's testified, we've been present throughout this testimony. We've lost that opportunity.
Your Honor, I believe if we had tried to present them with Mr. Pedrin, they would have been hearsay. So I think that's another.
Yeah, they're not being, what he has said, and I can reiterate this to the jury, I'll let the cross-examination happen, but no, again, I think it was somewhat of a contextual question about how do you talk about these conversations, because clearly statements by Ms. Dikeman, had you read them, they would have been out of context. It wouldn't have made a lot of sense. So that's why I allowed them, but they're not being offered for the truth of anything he's saying in those, and I'll reiterate that. The other thing is there's this continuing objection about discovery, about the fact that tables were made from the discovery. I just want to make sure I understand, Mr. Zacher, that it's not that you didn't receive the Cellbrite information, it's that you didn't have those tables that were developed. Is that correct?
That's correct. And just like some of these other ones where there's 1,000+ messages, we didn't get any chance to check it and make sure that it's an accurate representation.
Okay. I think that's an issue if, you know, in the future, if that was true, we'd have to deal with that at some point in time. But for right now, let's move forward. Anything else? I'm sorry.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. Why don't you come up and have a seat, and let's bring the jury in. All right, everybody may have a seat, and we'll start with a cross-examination. Go ahead, Mr. Zucker.
Thank you. So, Sergeant, I am not going to go through the same content I did with Lieutenant Williams about the process of a good investigation, but did you agree with Lieutenant Williams's answers to those questions?
For the most part, yes.
Now, Sergeant, at this point, it appears that you are the lead investigator on this case. Is that accurate?
I wouldn't say that I'm the lead investigator. I'm part of a investigative team that we have.
Who's the lead investigator?
I'm the last man standing of the group that started the original investigation.
Okay. In other words, Lieutenant Williams was not involved with this case after a couple of months, correct?
Correct.
And the former captain of your department is now the sheriff, is that correct?
Correct.
So, and Investigator Leinfelder has since retired,
Correct.
as has Investigator Valencia.
Yes.
So you are the sole remaining Sheriff's Department investigator involved in this case, is that correct?
Correct.
Who is in charge at DCI?
Mike Haverly.
All right. And do you agree with Special Agent Haverly that the Sheriff's Department gets the lead in this investigation?
Yes.
All right. Making you effectively the lead investigator at this point. Is that correct?
Sure.
All right. So I want to talk to you a little bit about some of the process involved in that. In that capacity, have you reviewed all of the police reports from the Sheriff's Department and the Division of Criminal Investigation?
I have not.
Are you aware whether anybody has reviewed all of the police reports from the Sheriff's Department and DCI?
I would say the District Attorney's Office.
Okay. So there's no investigator that you're aware of that's been fully briefed on every aspect of this case?
Correct.
Now, do you agree with Lieutenant Williams that it's important to keep up to date on what other investigators have done in the course of an investigation?
Yes.
Because that's how you ensure that you're not missing things in the course of your investigation.
Yes.
All right. I want to start where the state started yesterday with Investigator Leinfelder's comments about thinking like defense attorneys. This is something that you testified you were familiar with from his September 8th interview. Is that correct?
I recall the conversation, yes.
Do you agree with Lieutenant Williams that those comments were not proper?
I don't think they were improper.
Not something you would necessarily say to a witness if they have more information to give. Is that fair to say?
I guess I would have to have the whole contextual part of it, not just one sentence.
Now, that September 8th meeting that you reviewed was contained only on a body camera and then a transcription. Is that correct?
I don't know for sure.
In other words, you don't claim to have seen a police report on that interview, Mr. Pedron. Is that correct?
Correct.
Generally speaking, if police were to interview a witness who admitted that they were a source of drugs that may have killed a child, that is something that should be documented in a police report. Is that correct?
Correct.
And if somebody refused to produce a cell phone, that is something that should be documented in a police report. Is that correct?
It depends on the context of refusing to produce a cell phone.
If somebody were to tell investigators that they had the same cell phone during the time frame of an offense still on their person, were still using it, but then later claimed to have broken the cell phone in the same interview, you document that, correct?
I think I would note that, yes.
And to your knowledge, there was never a police report produced of that September 8th meeting. Is that correct?
I don't know.
Now, you're aware that Investigator Leinfelder and I believe Special Agent Frederick also met with Mr. Pedrin on February 21st.
It would be Adam Fredrickson,
Fredrickson, okay.
Special Agent, yes.
All right. Who else was present for that meeting?
I don't know.
Sergeant, do you agree that in that meeting that Investigator Leinfelder used the same language with Mr. Pedrin, that you need to think like defense attorneys?
I don't know.
Mark copy up here. All right. Page 58. So I'm showing you what's been marked as 267, investigator, page 58. I'm going to have you read the three bottom paragraphs here. On the same page here. And then over to the edge of 59. Looks like there's a half paragraph difference between our transcript and the state's.
Okay.
All right. So it appears that Mr. Pedrin was present at that meeting with his mother, Brenda McCormick.
I didn't read that part until you had me refresh.
Okay, sure. There are some initials in there for BM. Is that correct?
Like me go back to the beginning and look.
Yeah, you can look at the very beginning. Should be on the top page there.
There are initials for BM, yes. Brenda McCormick.
Brenda McCormick, thank you. All right, so back on page 58. Here's that Mr. Pedrin on February 21st asked how long it was going to take for she to get into trouble. Is that correct?
Yes.
And presumably she, in this context, is Josie Dikeman.
That's fair.
Now, after that, Investigator Leinfelder responds that, in part, that they have more investigation to do because you want to get it right, correct?
Correct.
And then says that, and I'm quoting here, quote, the way that you can eliminate that, we have to do a lot of thinking like we're a criminal defense attorney. And then like that to make sure we're doing everything, ruling everything out until we can, we look at this big picture and we eventually bring it into this is what we have. That takes time, sometimes with talks, it takes longer. So did I read that correctly?
I lost you in there, but it sounds accurate.
And Mr. Pedrin interjects briefly again and says something to the effect of what of?
Yes.
And after that, Investigator Leinfelder once more tells him that in order to have your best shot, they have to effectively defense-proof the case and do it the right way. Is that correct?
No. When you say Investigator Leinfelder completed a full explanation, then Derek Pedrin said, what of? Fritz Leinfelder then says, I wish I could give you a better answer than that, but I can't.
In the following paragraph, Sergeant, do you see that language?
Yes.
And in that paragraph, does Investigator Leinfelder tell Mr. Pedrin, in part, I can read the entire paragraph here.
Your Honor, just for the record, I believe this is actually Adam Frederickson's statement.
I think it was Leinfelder, but I'll just ask law enforcement at that meeting tells Mr. Pedrin, I can give you a real life example, and I just did, and it's still kind of ongoing, but it took us almost, and I think and I hope I'm not wrong on this, but I want to say it was close to 8 months before we made an arrest, and the reason why it took so long is exactly what Fritz is telling you. That's correct. That would be Adam Frederickson. But what I wanted to, we get one shot at this, right? To be able to get all the data and everything to make the best case, essentially defense proof, and do everything right and get everything the right way. And when we're end quote, did I read that correctly?
Yes.
And Ms. McCormick interjects at the end there, beyond a reasonable doubt.
Your Honor, object to that last one as being.
Sustained.
All right. Derek Pedrin ruled out as a suspect as of February 21st of 2023.
No.
It's clear from this part of the conversation, at least, that they're talking about Josie being a suspect in Alex's death. Is that fair?
Yes.
And you're meeting with or law enforcement is meeting with Mr. Pedrin and his mother discussing that prospect. Is that fair?
Yes.
So, all right. Investigator, is it proper to share the results of scientific and medical testing with somebody who is still a suspect?
Depends on the context. It could be proper.
So for instance, if you're confronting somebody in interrogation with an inconsistent fact, that's one area where you might do it, correct?
Yes.
But if somebody is simply a suspect that you're looking into and as somebody who caused the death of a child, generally speaking, you're not going to release information about medical, toxicology, or other scientific testing results to that suspect in a casual interview like this.
Once again, it's the context of it.
You're aware, Sergeant, that throughout the course of this investigation, investigators shared with Mr. Pedrin medical and autopsy results?
At different points, yes.
Shared toxicology results?
I believe when they became available, yes.
Shared results of shared the fact that they were interviewing other specific witnesses?
I don't know about that one.
Sure. And this was all in the time frame that Mr. Pedrin was still considered a suspect. Is that correct?
Which time are you talking about specifically?
You agree that this information was shared with Mr. Pedrin before Ms. Dikeman was identified as the suspect?
Yeah, I'm quite certain we shared information like that as the father of the deceased, yes.
At what point in your investigation did Mr. Pedron cease being a suspect?
I think we can always look at once the district attorney had filed the criminal complaint, we've had the preliminary hearing, but we're always open to new information that no case is truly closed.
Investigator, are you saying that Mr. Pedron is not considered a suspect at this point?
No,
That was a poorly phrased question. I want to make sure I get this right. Does your department consider Mr. Pedron a suspect in the chain of events leading to Alex Xavier's death at this point?
can you explain what you mean by chain of events?
Does your department consider Mr. Pedron to be a suspect in the source of the Xanax that led to Alex Xavier's death?
I think in this situation, we are open to whatever information we can find out. So Mr. Pedron, as far as I'm concerned, is not totally in the clear. That's up to the district attorney's office.
Does the department consider Mr. Pedron a suspect as somebody who could have caused Alex Xavier's injuries at this point?
I would say no.
All right. And you stopped considering him a suspect for that at the time that the criminal complaint was filed?
Well, we had a preliminary hearing. I think when you start looking at the totality of the facts, at some point you have to move on, yes.
Okay, so right around the time of the preliminary hearing, is that correct?
Correct.
And Sergeant, generally speaking, a preliminary hearing happens within 10 days of the filing of the criminal complaint?
It can.
Sure. So I want to talk a little bit about the department's investigative theory here. So my understanding from the testimony throughout this trial is that the theory is that after Mr. Pedron was arrested around 7:30, Ms. Dikeman snapped, beat Alex Xavier severely, and then gave him Xanax and staged the scene to make it look like an overdose. Did I summarize the department's theory accurately?
I think that summarizes the working theory, yes.
All right. You said working theory. Are there other theories that have been considered along the way?
Certainly.
Sure. And you agree that under the context of what we know here, Ms. Dikeman would have had to do that in the presence of at least one, possibly two other children. Is that fair?
There were one or two other children at the residence, yes.
You sat through all the testimony in this case as the state's court officer, correct?
Correct.
And you recall seeing the photographs of Josie and Brantley in bed around 9:15, I believe?
On which day?
On February 10th.
Yes.
Appeared to be that Brantley and Josie were laying on the same surface in that photo.
Yes.
And you heard Brantley's testimony that at the very least, Araya spent time downstairs in Josie's bedroom. Is that correct?
I believe so, yes.
And presumably, at least one, if not both children, would have been in a position to observe this severe beating that Alex would have received after 7:30. Is that fair?
Objection, speculation.
Overruled. If they were awake and present, yes.
All right. So did you or any other investigator question why Ms. Dikeman would do something like this?
Of course.
Because your knowledge is that she was basically a stepmother to Alex Xavier for several years. Is that correct?
Yes.
And Mr. Pedron himself told you that Josie never touched those kids in an abusive manner.
Derek Pedron states that he did not observe Josie Dikeman cause physical harm to the children.
There's no reason to believe from any of those text messages that we saw in the State's Direct that Josie was upset or angry with Alex or any of the kids on February 10th. Is that correct?
From the text messages that were shown, I think that's plausible.
And you knew from the text messages that you reviewed that Josie wasn't feeling particularly well that day, is that correct?
I don't recall that specifically.
You recall reviewing text messages between Josie and Laura Lee Rains, indicating that she had a urinary tract infection and wanted an antibiotic to help take care of that?
Yes, thank you for clarifying.
Now, later in the evening, we heard from Laura Lee Rains that there was a series of calls, a Facebook Messenger call, and then a telephone call where she talked to Josie. Is that correct?
I believe so, yes.
And in those calls, you learned of no facts that indicated that Josie was angry or upset with Alex or any of the kids. Is that correct?
Other than Laura Lee Rains stating she could hear Josie telling Alex to go to sleep, to go to bed, in that context.
Not uncommon for a parent to tell a child at 10:45 p.m. that you need to go to sleep. Is that fair to say?
That's fair.
All right. And you knew that Josie had plans the next day for a first date with this man, Rafael Porfirio.
We did learn that, yes.
And in fact, there were some rather extensive text messages between Josie and Mr. Porfirio that the two of you, or that you testified to on direct examination. Is that correct?
Correct.
And generally speaking, those were flirty type text messages?
Yeah, flirty, get to know someone, yes.
Nothing about those text messages indicated that Ms. Dikeman was feeling angry or homicidal. Is that correct?
That's fair.
And I think between the two exhibits, I counted, I believe, 164 total text messages between Ms. Dikeman and Mr. Porfirio in the time frame between about approximately 6:30 and about 2 a.m. Is that correct?
I don't have that exhibit in front of me, so.
We'll go back to it in a second, but take my word for it that there were a lot of them.
Sure, absolutely.
And those text messages were fairly consistent throughout the evening. Is that fair to say?
No, there was breaks in the messages. It wasn't, I guess, how would I put that? It wasn't in a frequency there. Every 2 minutes there was a text message. There were breaks in them.
I agree, but like sometimes these messages were all within the same minute, correct?
Correct.
Sometimes these messages were 2, 3, 4, 5 minutes apart. Is that correct?
Correct.
At one point, Ms. Dikeman says that she needs to take a shower. Is that correct?
Yes.
And then we see a break of, I believe, 20 minutes between the first and the second batch of text messages. Is that correct?
No, I think it's about 45.
45, sure. And she was also texting with Laura Lee Rains during that same evening. Is that correct?
Yes.
And again, those text messages were ordinary texts that people send back and forth with their friends. Is that right?
They seem to be, yes.
And in the course of that, there was nothing in her text messages to Laura Lee Rains that indicated she was angry or upset with Alex Xavier. Is that correct?
I don't believe there's anything specific, no.
Now, in the course of those, in the course of this, Ms. Dikeman also reaches out to Derek's mother, Ms. McCormick, to let her know that Derek had been arrested. Is that correct?
I don't remember specifically, but it would sound likely.
And we know that Josie took a jail call from Mr. Pedron once he was brought into the La Crosse County Jail. Is that correct?
That is correct.
You've listened to that call?
I have not.
Nothing about the call or how it's been described to you anyways would lead you to believe that Josie was upset or angry with Alex over his father's circumstances.
Not that was noted, no.
All right. So am I correct in assuming that there's been no police report authored or no other document authored that identifies any apparent motive for Josie to want to kill Alex Xavier that night?
I wouldn't say that. I know that there was bad blood between Josie Dikeman and Jenna Love, and there was tensions in the relationship between Derek Pedron and Josie Dikeman because Jenna Love was coming back into the picture.
Okay, so that's
there was
That's the motive that you're offering, is that she was jealous of Jenna Love?
I wasn't finished with my answer, but.
Sure, go ahead.
But that there was tensions in the relationship with Jenna Love coming back in. Alex Xavier Pedron was not Josie Dikeman's biological son. So we did note that these tensions started towards the release of Jenna Love from prison.
So that's the motive that you're offering here today, is that this was tension over Jenna being released from prison, and that's why Josie killed Alex.
I don't know that that's a motive. That's factors that we have to take into account of, during the investigation.
Sure. Do you agree that no investigator in the course of this case wrote a police report suggesting that this would be the motive for her to kill Alex?
Well, I think there's plenty of police reports documenting the tensions and conflict between Josie Dikeman and Jenna Love, going back as far as we even got the police reports from Joplin, Missouri, where there was an altercation. So we tried to gather all the evidence and learn all the circumstances we could in this investigation.
Sure. Well, I mean, it wasn't an altercation. Ms. Dikeman was assaulted with a baseball bat, correct?
Yes.
Hit on the head with a baseball bat?
Yes.
By Jenna Love?
Yes.
Now, you watched some of the videos and saw some of the text messages between Josie and Derek towards the end of Alex's life in the course of this trial. Is that correct?
Yes.
And you recall seeing on multiple videos, Sergeant, that Ms. Dikeman told Derek that Jenna was getting out, you can go be with her, or something to that effect.
There was messages with similar content, yes.
Didn't appear to be jealous and controlling of Derek in those videos or those messages. Is that correct?
I wouldn't categorize it that way, no.
You recall seeing other text messages where Ms. Dikeman makes clear to Mr. Pedron that she wasn't interested in fixing their relationship because of his abuse.
I recall some of those, yes.
So I want to talk to you about another theory that was a working theory back in February. You yourself, Sergeant, issued a search warrant application to Verizon on February 27th of 2023. Is that correct?
Sounds accurate, yes.
And in that search warrant application, the crime that you stated you were investigating was negligent homicide. Is that correct?
I believe so.
Didn't say anything about intentional homicide in that search warrant application. Is that correct?
Correct.
Did not say anything about child abuse causing death in that search warrant application. Is that correct?
I don't believe it did.
Sure. Now, you agree, and I assume that you agree that with Special Agent Haverly that Mr. Pedron was appropriately treated as a suspect?
Could you repeat the question?
Do you agree with Special Agent Haverly that Mr. Pedron should be treated as a suspect or a person of interest under these circumstances?
Certainly.
Sure. And in the course of your investigation, you knew that Mr. Pedron was violent with others inside of that home. Is that correct?
I knew of prior domestic abuse incidents between Derek Pedron and Josie Dikeman.
You knew that he was on criminal bond at the time of this incident for battering and strangling Ms. Dikeman.
I don't know about the strangulation, but I know the battery.
And when somebody has a domestic history like that, it's very fair to ask yourself the question whether or not he's capable of harming children as well.
I think in this type of investigation, we want to see if any adult that's capable of harming a child, yes.
You agree with Lieutenant Williams' testimony earlier in this case that Mr. Pedron had lied to him at the outside of the investigation about his communications with Ms. Dikeman.
Your objective vagueness here, if you can have the subject matter about the lie.
So you were present when Lieutenant Williams testified, is that correct?
Yes.
And Lieutenant Williams testified that Mr. Pedron initially told him that he was done with Josie and wanted nothing to do with her, correct?
I don't recall that specific statement.
You recall Lieutenant Williams testifying that after a brief search of Ms. Dikeman's text messages, that it was apparent that Mr. Pedrin had lied to him?
He may have said that, yes.
So this is somebody that with a known history of violence that told at least one lie to law enforcement. Is that correct?
Who are you referring to when you say he?
Mr. Pedrin.
Yes.
Certainly appropriate to examine him as a suspect.
Yes.
I want to talk about your interview of Laura Lee Raines. My understanding is that you and I believe Special Agent Greeno interviewed Ms. Raines.
No.
Who was involved in the interview of Ms. Raines?
Special Agent Haverly and I interviewed Ms. Raines.
My apology. And this was a pretty important witness for this case. Is that correct?
All witnesses are important.
But this is a witness who claimed to have heard Alex talking about getting into things shortly before he died. Is that correct?
Yes.
This is somebody who could tell you about Josie's state of mind and what she was saying and doing shortly before Alex Xavier's death. Is that correct?
Correct. Within the hours between the conversation and the call, yes.
And you wrote a 5-page report documenting your interview with Ms. Raines. Is that correct?
Yes.
Do you agree that a police report should be thorough, accurate, and complete?
Yes.
That it should contain all of the relevant details of the case, whether or not they are helpful or unhelpful to your working theory?
Reports and yes, and reports in these interviews are generally summaries because we always try to record them.
Okay. And if you have something that you missed or you needed to include, you can certainly author a supplemental or an amended report. Is that correct?
I could.
Now, Sergeant, before we do this, the Sheriff's Department tends to include all investigative reports in the same set of discovery. Is that fair? In other words, it's one running report with everybody's entries.
Yes.
We're out of staples, but I'll take that. So I'm showing you what's been marked as Exhibit 268. It starts on, we have a date stamped at LCSO 25, but really what we're talking about starts on page 26. Just give that a quick glance. Let me know if that's your report.
Yes.
All right. And this is your summary of your interview with Laura Lee Raines.
Correct.
I want to talk about some of what you did and did not include in your report. You had a body-worn camera activated during this interview. Is that correct?
Yes.
So and you're aware that what you were talking to Ms. Raines about was transcribed into a transcript?
Yes.
All right. So what you included in your report was that Ms. Raines told you that she's never seen Josie lay a hand on those kids. Is that correct? Page 29.
Your Honor, I object to hearsay
It's not here. I'm questioning the investigative methods here, Judge.
about Ms. Raines's exact statement.
Says, yeah, overruled, it's not being offered the truth of the matter, it's being offered for what the investigation did. Go ahead.
Can you tell me where that's at?
Page 29.
Let me give you an idea of paragraph.
Page 29, if you want to give it a chance to read it again.
I didn't see that statement in there on page 29.
That is a statement that should be included in the police report, is that correct?
Your Honor, I guess I'm confused on what the question is right now, is if it should be included or if it was included.
Oh, yeah. All right. Actually, Sergeant, very top line. 29. My apologies.
What's your question, sir?
Ms. Raines told you that she's never seen Josie treat the children poorly. Is that correct?
Correct.
And that's an important thing to include in a police report, correct?
Yes.
Along the same line, she describes Derek's treatment of the children as, quote, bad. Did you include that in your police report?
Your Honor, these are, I think, being offered as
Yeah.
statements that would be
Overruled
hearsay,
for the
right?
same reason. It's the issue of why they focused on one individual, not the other. Go ahead.
Yes, that completes the sentence that I wrote.
You agree with me, investigator, that neither you nor Special Agent Haverly asked Ms. Raines what she meant when she said that Derek treated the children bad?
There's nothing expanded on that, no.
Okay. Nobody ever asked that question. Is that correct?
Not that I recall.
Be pretty important to know what she meant by that. Would you agree with me?
Well, I think you have to take the whole context of the interview with Laura Lee Raines that Derek is a bad parent.
Well, she said that Derek treated the kids bad. Is that correct?
I believe that's what she said, yes.
And is it your testimony that you didn't want to know what she meant by that when she gave you that information?
No. Contextually throughout the whole interview, I think I can draw the inference on what she means by bad.
Nobody ever asked her if that meant that Derek was hitting the kids. Is that correct?
Laura Lee Raines never disclosed that Derek was hitting the kids.
And nobody asked her that. Is that correct?
We did ask a lot of questions in this interview, so I would say yes, we asked those questions.
Sergeant, if I told you that that appears nowhere in the transcribed interview, do you believe that you asked her whether or not Derek was hurting the kids?
I believe I asked her how Derek treated the kids, yes.
And her response was bad.
Yes.
All right. So one of the items that you did not include in your report was Ms. Raines telling you that Derek treated Alex poorly, quote, a lot.
I would have to see the transcript.
Sure.
Wait till we get a copy,
Wait.
please.
Sure. showing what's been marked as Exhibit 269. Pointing to page 1, I'm going to have you start at line 30 and read through line 33 to yourself.
Yeah.
Does that refresh your recollection?
Yes.
All right. And during that interview, Ms. Raines was asked, does Josie treat Alex Xavier differently than the other kids? And her response was, I honestly never seen her treat him bad. I saw Derek treat him bad. I mean, like a lot. I know that he would get in trouble, but they all go in trouble. Did I read that correctly?
Yes.
Important statement about Josie and Derek's treatment of Alex Xavier. Is that correct?
Yes.
Your Honor, under the rule of completeness, I'd ask that the transcript be read through line 37.
Okay, go ahead.
Agent Haverly says, okay. And then Ms. Raines says, but I never seen it personally at all. Is that correct?
Yes.
But earlier in there, she's telling you herself, I saw Derek treat him bad, correct?
Yes.
You agree that these remarks do not appear in your police summary of that interview?
I believe the quoted question from Special Agent Haverly does not appear in my report.
Or Ms. Raines' response about never seeing Josie treat the children bad, but seeing Derek treat Alex bad.
Your Honor, I believe that is in his report.
I believe it is.
That specific response was not included. Is that correct?
I don't think I quoted her response, but I think my report is clear that Derek did not treat the children well.
And Ms. Raines told you that throughout her interview that Derek treated Alex poorly. Is that correct?
I don't think that's a fair assessment on the interview that she says it throughout. There's a lot of other questions and things we asked in this interview.
She says it more than once, correct?
I believe so, yes.
Now, it didn't include comments Ms. Raines made about her son witnessing the stair fall in breaking Alex's leg. Is that correct?
I don't recall that.
Sure. Do you agree that those remarks appear nowhere in your report?
I would have to review my entire report. I don't know.
I told you that it's not there. Any reason to doubt that?
No.
All right. So if Ms. Raines identified a witness to this stair fall, is it your obligation to try and interview that witness?
Sure.
Do you agree that nobody interviewed Ms. Raines' son about whether or not he saw this stair fall?
And I do believe that there was something about Mrs. Raines' son not being a good witness or something similar to that, I think she said as well. Some sort of special needs or something, maybe.
Okay. My point is nobody tried talking to him to see if he could describe that. Is that fair?
That's fair.
All right. So one of the facts that you did include, and this is offered for purposes of impeaching Ms. Raines, Your Honor, prior and consistent statement, is that she reported to you that Josie wanted to take Alex into the hospital the night of the birthday party. Is that correct?
I'd have to look at my report.
Your Honor, I believe she did testify that Ms. Dikeman wanted to take Alex in that day.
So everybody agrees that she knew that Ms. Dikeman wanted to take Alex in that day?
If the state concedes that Ms. Dikeman told Laura Lee Raines that she wanted to take Alex into the hospital, but Derek did not the evening of the birthday party, I will move on.
I stipulate that that was the testimony of Ms. Raines. That's what she stated, Your Honor. Yes.
All right.
Okay, move on then.
All right. Now, Ms. Raines said nothing to you during this interview about Josie watching at the bedroom window with Lee as Derek was beaten up outside. Is that correct?
I don't recall.
She said nothing to you in this interview about Josie laughing and saying that he's getting what's coming to him or something to that effect when he's getting beaten up. Is that correct?
I don't recall that statement, no.
The type of thing you would put in your police report had you received that information, correct?
Probably, yes.
And to this day, nobody has interviewed Mr. or Ms. Raines about what she meant when she said that Derek treated Alex poorly a lot. Is that correct?
We did a lot of investigation to find out who was treating Alex poorly.
Well, I'm asking, to your knowledge, as the lead investigator here, nobody has asked her what she meant when she said that Derek treated Alex poorly a lot.
The content of the report describes why she describes Derek treating Alex poorly.
Nobody's asked her whether or not Derek was hitting the kids.
I believe there was a commenter that she has not seen anything with Derek hitting the kids.
Well, that wasn't the remark, Sergeant. Nobody's asked her what she meant by, what is bad treatment.
Asked and answered, Your Honor. Objection.
Same.
All right. So you did include some comments in that police report that painted Josie in a poor light. Is that correct?
I just put in the statements that I received.
You included a line from somebody who wasn't even a witness commenting on Josie's traumatic brain injuries. Is that correct?
Could you repeat the question?
So Laura Lee's aunt was present for that interview. Is that correct?
She was present, but did not fully participate, correct?
But you chose to, and she's not a witness to any of this. Do you agree with that?
I would agree.
You chose to include her comments, though, that painted Josie in a poor light. Is that correct?
No.
You included a line in your police report that Laura Lee's aunt wouldn't let Josie watch her dog. Is that correct?
Yes.
And that remark has nothing to do at all with the investigation. Is that correct?
I would say that's applicable. If somebody doesn't trust them with their dog, they wouldn't trust them with their kids.
Well, this is somebody that doesn't even know Josie, to your knowledge. Is that correct?
She must know something to be able to make a statement like that.
And you're including that comment, but not including a discussion of what Laura Lee meant when she said that Derek was the one who was treating the children poorly.
Your Honor, asked and answered.
Move on.
All right. Sergeant, if facts that were favorable to Ms. Dikeman were omitted from your report, can we agree that the report was not thorough, accurate, and complete?
No.
So one of the things that you learned from Ms. Raines is that she had videos that Josie had sent her of Mr. Pedron being abusive in the home. Is that correct?
She referenced receiving a video, a singular video from Josie Dikeman.
Certainly something that you wanted to get a hold of in the course of this investigation. Is that right?
Yes.
And she sent you an email attachment that for whatever reason you weren't able to open.
Correct.
And the follow-up decision was to send out Investigator Valencia to try and retrieve this attachment. Is that correct?
Correct.
And you're aware that Investigator Valencia decided not to do so because the download was taking him too long. Is that correct?
I recall Sergeant Valencia having Investigator Hogg from the Home and Police Department with a mobile Celebrate program and try to download Laura Lee Raines's phone, in that due to her time constraints, they couldn't get it all done because it was going to take a very long time to get all the video content and how much memory was on the phone.
There was no follow-up attempt to try and get that video after that attempt. Is that correct?
Your Honor, I'm going to object to that. Based on the dates of the police reports and the emails, I believe that this is misconstruing the facts related to when the phone download was attempted and the email was sent.
Was the email sent after the download?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right. And even the email after the download, you weren't able to open that up. Is that correct?
Correct.
After that point, nobody attempted to recover this video that Laura Lee Raines told you Josie had sent you of these circumstances.
That is incorrect.
Which investigator went out to recover that video from Ms. Raines after the email?
We recovered the video after we did the Google search warrant and got it that way.
You're assuming that this is the same video she was referring to.
Yes.
Nobody went back and showed Ms. Raines the video from the Google search warrant and said, is this the one?
No.
You agree that that video should have been recovered in the course of this investigation?
It was recovered.
A video from Google was recovered, not from Ms. Raines's phone. Is that correct?
It's an email showing in the file being emailed from Josie Dikeman to Laura Lee Raines. And the information we have is the same video.
You're aware that Ms. Dikeman had reported to investigators that she frequently sent videos to Laura Lee Raines of behavior in the home.
Ms. Dikeman said that?
Yes.
To who?
To multiple people. Mr. Pedrin, for instance. You're familiar with the recordings?
I saw the recordings that were played in court, but I don't know who Ms. Dikeman is referring to that sent these videos to who.
I mean, let's start with those recordings then. Like one of those recordings, Ms. Dikeman said that she sent the video to Laura Lee of Mr. Pedrin threatening to kill her early in the day. Do you recall that?
Which video are you talking about so I make sure I'm being accurate for you?
This is the video where Major is hiding in the closet and Mr. Pedrin assaults Ms. Dikeman at the end of the video.
The videos that we recovered from Ms. Dikeman's phone you're talking about?
This is the video that we watched in court in this trial. Do you recall seeing that?
I recall seeing that video.
Okay, and do you recall Ms. Dikeman saying out loud that you already threatened to kill me that day? That video has been sent to Laura Lee.
I would have to watch the video again. I don't recall that specific.
Do you agree that if Ms. Raines had content like that, Mr. Pedrin behaving abusively in other circumstances, that would be relevant information to obtain in the course of your investigation?
Yes.
And you agree that because the Cellbrite download was taking too long, the full content of Ms. Raines's phone was never downloaded?
Correct.
Now, you're aware that Mr. Pedrin and Ms. Raines have since gotten married?
Yes.
When did you learn of that?
I think it was during trial prep I learned about that.
Did anybody think to question either of them about why two people who said they didn't like each other would suddenly get married under these circumstances?
Well, I think you're bringing it into a very short context. This is over a period of 3 years since this incident happened, and I think people change, and a common tragedy might bring two people together. I don't know the answer to that. You'd have to ask them.
In other words, you didn't ask them.
I didn't know about it until trial prep. I was shocked.
Sergeant, would it strike you as suspicious if the parties had told others that they were getting married with the apparent goal of excluding certain testimony at trial?
Objection, hearsay.
I'm asking this as a hypothetical in the investigation, Judge.
Okay, hypothetical, go ahead.
Could you repeat the question, please?
would it be suspicious in your mind if witnesses told others that they were getting married for the purpose of trying to exclude testimony from a criminal trial here?
I would want to know more about that, yes.
Because that is not a good reason to get married. Fair?
You can get married for a lot of reasons. I'm not going to question motives on why people get married.
So let's talk about the video with Alex. You know the one I'm talking about in the vehicle that we've seen a couple times in trial?
Are you referring to the one in the minivan?
Yes.
Yes, I recall that video.
This is a video that you obtained at some point before Ms. Dikeman was charged in this investigation. Is that correct?
Yes.
Investigator or Sergeant, do you agree that Mr. Pedrin's conduct in that video was out of line?
I thought his words to his children were very harsh, yes.
And did you hear the sounds of a child coughing or choking in that video when it was played?
I heard sounds of coughing, yes.
Did you hear the sounds of an apparent slap or something being struck when that video was being played?
I heard a noise. I cannot tell you if it was a slap.
Did anybody watch this video before Ms. Dikeman was criminally charged?
I'm certain, yes.
And am I correct in assuming that nobody took this video to Mr. Pedrin and said, "What are you doing to your child?" before this trial?
I believe that was addressed by Agent Fredrickson and Investigator Leinfelder, because Derek Pedrin disclosed that video to them without us even having it.
You agree that that was the September 8th conversation?
No, I believe it was before then. I believe it was the first interview that those two did.
The first interview that they did on the 21st of February?
I believe so.
And if that comment or those remarks are nowhere in that transcript, is it your impression that this conversation happened off of the body camera?
I wouldn't say that, then I would say I'm probably wrong on the date.
Sure. You reviewed the transcript from September 8th, correct?
No,
You've reviewed the body camera from September 8th?
no.
And we've already discussed that there's no police report. Where is your information about September 8th coming from?
I didn't say it was September 8th.
No, you previously offered testimony on this comment made on September 8th about a number of things. The state offered on direct examination that the comment about thinking like defense attorneys was only occurred after Josie was arrested in the September 8th interview. Do you recall having that question asked of you on direct?
Yes.
All right. And your testimony at that time was that you were familiar enough with that interview to say that that was the case, correct?
I answered the question that I knew about, yes.
My question here is, how would you know what was or wasn't said on September 8th if there was no police report, no video, or you didn't watch the video and you didn't review the transcript?
Just investigative knowledge of us conversing. That's it. We talk amongst each other.
So you have no idea how this subject of the video came up on September 8th. Is that correct?
Your Honor, I believe his testimony was that he thought the incident was discussed in a previous interview, not in the September 8th interview.
Either way, the question is legitimate. Go ahead, you can ask the question.
You have no idea how that came up in the September 8th meeting.
Can you repeat the question?
You have no idea how the subject of this video of Derek behaving that way in the minivan came up in the meeting between Investigator Leinfelder and Agent Fredrickson on the 8th.
Correct.
Did you read the police report summarizing their interview of Mr. Pedrin on February 21st?
I did not.
Did you review the transcript of that interview on February 21st?
I did not.
Did you watch the body camera of that interview on February 21st?
I did not.
So your knowledge is simply in chatting with Agent Fredrickson and Investigator Leinfelder at certain points of the case. Is that correct?
Correct. We would have team meetings and discuss what we did for the day, who did what interviews, what was learned, and then either the special agents or Investigator Leinfelder, Sergeant Valencia, or I would then author our reports based on what we did. That's how we would do things as a team approach.
Sure. And at the end of the day, who is the one in charge of reading all of these reports?
Well, at the time, it would have been Sergeant Valencia.
Okay. How about after Sergeant Valencia retired?
After Sergeant Valencia retired, then I would read reports.
Okay. Then sounds like there are at least a couple that you did not read in this case. Is that correct?
Correct.
All right. Is it important to attempt to secure evidence of child abuse if witnesses described videos of child abuse to you?
Can you repeat the question?
If a witness described a video of Mr. Pedrin physically abusing Alex, is it important to try and secure that content?
Yes.
And at least one person in this investigation described to you a video that depicted Mr. Pedrin choking Alex up against a wall.
I believe there was someone that said that, yes.
It was Ms. Ehlers. You're aware of that, correct?
Becky Ehlers sent that?
Yes.
Okay, I don't recall that. I was thinking of someone different, but.
There's another one we'll talk about in a second. But if that video was described as existing, is it important to try and locate that video?
Yes.
And if Ms. Ehlers told you where the video had been sent to, is it important to interview the person it had been sent to?
Yes.
And if you learned that that person was Laura Lee Raines, would it have been important to try and identify that video and collect it?
Yes.
You agree that no attempt was made to secure this video as Ms. Ehlers described it?
I do not agree with that. We attempted to get the videos from Laura Lee Raines, and then we got the video through Google.
Ms. Raines was never asked about whether or not she had that video that Ms. Ehlers described. Is that correct?
I would have to refer back to my report. I would assume when Ms. Raines was willing to share the video of this, as you described, that's what we got from Ms. Raines.
I'm asking about, did anybody contact Ms. Ehlers or contact Ms. Raines after Ms. Ehlers relayed this information to your department?
Ms. Ehlers was interviewed early on in this investigation. I believe it was February 14th, and we didn't talk to Laura Lee Raines until March, the first part of March.
And in that March interview, do you agree that you were either unaware or didn't think to ask her whether or not she had seen this video of Mr. Pedrin strangling Alex against a wall?
I'm not sure that I recall that specifically about the video of strangling Alex against the wall.
Come back in a second. Now, do you agree with me that not all conversations with Derek Pedrin were documented in police reports in the course of this investigation?
I would say that's accurate.
There are at least a number of phone calls that we know were not documented in a report or recorded. Is that correct?
With who?
Investigator Leinfelder.
I can't speak to how many phone calls Investigator Leinfelder did or did not get from Derek Pedrin.
When you have a conversation with a witness or an alleged victim, it's important to document that. Is that correct?
It would depend on the content of the conversation, yes.
Does it appear from your review of this record that phone calls between Investigator Leinfelder and Mr. Pedrin were documented?
I'm not sure which ones you're referring to, sir.
For phone calls that, a series of phone calls that Investigator Leinfelder mentioned having with Mr. Pedrin before that September 8th meeting documented to your knowledge?
I don't know what Investigator Leinfelder documented, sir.
Okay. If you had seen it, you would know whether or not it was documented. Is that fair?
If I saw it, yes.
Did you review any of Investigator Leinfelder's reports?
I don't recall what reports I reviewed from Investigator Leinfelder, no.
All right. So at some point in investigative theory, or Mr. Pedrin made the claim that Josie was getting Xanax from her mother. Is that fair?
I don't recall that specifically, but I know there was talk about Josie getting Xanaxes, yes.
And that's why you and your team subpoenaed Becky Ehler's medical records. Is that correct?
I actually did that, yes.
Yeah. And you learned from Ms. Ehler's medical records that she had never been prescribed alprazolam. Is that correct?
Correct.
And had never been dispensed from the Walmart pharmacy in Onalaska. Is that correct?
That is correct.
After you learned that reference to be untrue, did anybody confront Mr. Pedrin about why he would say something like that?
Your Honor, I'm going to object. I don't think there's anything in the record that reflects in a police report that Mr. Pedrin said that.
His own testimony reflected that, Judge.
I think he did testify to that.
That he got them from Miss Ehlers?
Medications were used generally, but I'll allow him to ask the question. Go ahead.
Nobody asked Mr. Pedrin why he would say something like Josie's getting Xanax from her mother from her pharmacy after you found that to be untrue.
I think you're stating the question poorly, that Derek said that Josie was getting prescription drugs like hydrocodones from her mother.
Well, you recall Mr. Pedrin's testimony earlier in this case?
From a few weeks ago, yes, parts of it.
And you recall him confirming on cross-examination that he had initially said that Josie was getting these medications from her mother?
Your Honor, that wasn't the testimony. That was a question Mr. Decker asked about a statement made in a preliminary hearing, but nothing was ever introduced to Mr. Pedrin showing him that he's made that statement. Testimony at the preliminary hearing was not Mr. Pedrin's testimony.
All right. Just the general question, just follow up. He never said anything about Xanax or anything else. So,
Yeah, nobody followed up with Mr. Pedrin as to after receiving Ms. Ehler's prescription records. Is that correct?
About what?
About whether or not that lead was an honest lead.
It was an honest lead about the prescription pills, the hydrocodones. I don't reference what you're asking me, sir.
Is Agent Fredrickson somebody that you found to be reliable in the course of your career?
Yes.
Would you expect him to tell the truth if questioned under oath?
Yes,
And did you attend the preliminary examination in this matter?
I did.
And you recall Investigator Agent Fredrickson saying that the reason they were looking at
This is hearsay. Multiple layers of it.
I'm trying to get to the source of where this information.
Sergeant Amundsen, I don't think, is the person to get to the source, Your Honor.
So Sergeant Emerson doesn't know the source, and apparently there was no lead in the investigation, so.
All right. Mr.
Not
Pedrin
true.
also, Mr. Pedrin also claimed that Josie was getting medication from Ted Colkind. Is that correct?
I don't know specifically if it came from Derek, but I did learn during the course of this investigation that she was getting medication from Ted Colkind.
Well, let me ask you this. If I told you that Derek made that claim, any reason to doubt that?
I would like you to know where the claim came from.
During
Mr.
his
Zacher.
testimony in this trial, do you recall him saying that?
I don't recall if Derek said that.
Prior to trial, nobody went and interviewed Ted Colkine. Is that correct?
During the trial, yes, we went and interviewed Ted Colkine.
During the trial, you went and interviewed. Prior to this trial, for 3 years, nobody interviewed Ted Colkine.
I don't believe so.
Do you agree with me that the moment that Derek admitted that he was purchasing Xanax and bringing into the home, his telephone should have been seized and searched?
When was that?
Mr. Pedrin admitted that to you as early as March. Is that correct?
I don't know.
If Mr. Pedrin had admitted that to investigators in your case, you agree that that would be probable cause to seize his phone and apply for a search warrant?
It would depend on when that information was learned. There is potential for that, but there's also potential that probable cause would not exist as well.
Well, you leave that up to a judge to
Correct.
determine whether or not probable cause exists. Yes?
Yes,
And certainly Lieutenant Williams had probable cause to seize Josie's phone on February 11th. Is that correct?
the search warrant authorized the seizure of the electronic devices of those present at the residence. It didn't specifically say Josie Dikeman's cell phone, but those present. Derek Pedrin was not present when we served the warrant. Therefore, we couldn't seize his phone with that search warrant.
And the source of this Xanax that contributed to Alex's death here, that's an important aspect of this case that should be examined. Is that fair?
Correct, and we didn't know about Xanax until we got the final toxicology report. The working investigation was set up that Xavier Pedrin had overdosed on prednisone based on the prescription pill bottle and things found at the initial scene.
Did you review any police reports from Special Agent Jay Greeno?
No, have not.
And Special Agent Greeno is a law enforcement officer that you found to be reliable?
Yes,
And you're unaware then that Special Agent Greeno documented a meeting with Mr. Pedrin in April where he disclosed that he had been purchasing Xanax.
I'm unaware of that.
April is only a couple months away from February, correct?
Correct, it's 2 months.
And if you have somebody admitting that I'm bringing Xanax into the home and you knew Xanax caused this death, it'd be pretty important to lock down the information about what Mr. Pedrin knew.
If we knew that, if we had the toxicology report back yet, I don't think we had that until May, if I'm not mistaken.
Well, even when you get the toxicology report back, you've got a witness who's telling you, I am buying illegal drugs and bringing them into the home. You're saying that there wouldn't be probable cause to get a search warrant at that point.
It would depend on the circumstances.
So, in the course of this, did anybody talk to Mr. Pedrin about what he meant by his usual order of Xanax?
I don't know.
That would be something to nail down in the investigation as well. Is that fair?
That would be up to the investigator. If you're saying that was stated to an investigator, that would be up to them to follow up on, yes.
You're familiar with how to investigate a drug overdose homicide?
Yes,
You've done so before?
yes. Not before not before this one.
And you agree with me that the chain of custody, so to speak, of how a fatal drug is administered to a victim is really important to those investigations?
It would depend on the drug and the circumstances of the overdose, yes.
So what you're aware of from speaking with Investigator Leinfelder is that Mr. Pedrin admitted to buying Xanax from his quote buddy. Is that correct?
I believe there was something said to that, yes.
And he wasn't asked how many pills he was getting at a time. Is that correct?
I don't know what Investigator Leinfelder asked him.
You're unaware of whether or not he was asked who he was getting the pills from.
I don't know what he asked.
In fact, the first time that you found out who Mr. Pedron's supplier was when I asked him that question on cross-examination. Is that correct?
First I learned?
Yes. To your knowledge, nobody asked him who his drug supplier was when he made this admission.
Not that I know of, no.
Nobody asked him what the pills looked like generally. Is that correct?
Not that I know of.
Nobody asked him what the dosage was. Is that correct?
Not that I'm aware of.
Nobody asked him how much he was paying per gram of Xanax. Is that correct?
Well, Xanax generally isn't sold by the gram, it's sold by the bar, and it's how much per pill. It's not like other street drugs like heroin or methamphetamine that's sold by the gram or the point.
Well, I asked that poorly. So you've investigated sales of things like oxycodone or Vicodin or other opiates in the past, correct?
Yes,
And generally speaking, the more potent the supply, the higher the price. Is that correct?
that's fair, yes.
Which is why, 5-gram pills cost less than 10 or 20-gram pills. Is that correct?
Depending on the prescription drug, yes.
And you're aware that Xanax comes in doses from 1/4 of a gram all the way up to 2 grams.
I don't know that without researching it for certain.
You didn't look that one up on rxlist.com?
I did not look that up.
You didn't look at that up to determine what colors and formulations Xanax come in?
I do recall looking at images to see what colors and they come into, yes.
Is it important to note that Xanax comes in white, blue, peach, and a variety of other colors?
I don't recall the peach. I recall white. I recall some different shades of blue.
All right. When the investigators, in this case Special Agent Fredrickson and Investigator Leinfelder, interviewed Mr. Pedron, do you agree that it was an investigative failure to not get the specifics of these purported drug transactions?
I think it would depend on how they were questioning him at the time, and if they were still trying to maintain cooperation, you can always come back to that if necessary. But by the end of the investigation, I think you might want to know.
All right. And by the end of the investigation, that would be in September of 2023?
We've been investigating this all the way up, even through the trial, so the investigation's not done.
To this point, up until I asked Mr. Pedron these questions on cross-examination, nobody had the answer to those questions about what the pills looked like, what they cost, what they weighed, how they were packaged. Is that fair?
I did not have that information, no.
All right, you agree that's important information to know?
I think it's applicable, yes.
And you agree that it would be important to confront Mr. Pedron about the February 9th text exchange where he was asked for scripts. Is that correct?
Yes, I agree that that's important.
You had that information from the Verizon search warrant return. Is that correct?
Yes,
And that Verizon search warrant return was a warrant that you authored back in February of 2023. Is that correct?
I believe so, yes.
And my understanding of the Verizon records is that we only have 5 days of Mr. Pedron's text activity from Verizon. Is that correct?
I don't know the exact number off the top of my head.
If I told you 5, any reason to doubt that?
No,
And we don't have his complete phone because Mr. Pedron never once consented to a forensic download of his cell phone.
we never did a Celebrate download of Derek Pedron's phone.
Nobody ever confronted Mr. Pedron with this text message 2 days before his son's death, asking him for scripts to ask him what was going on in that exchange. Is that correct?
Not that I'm aware of, no.
Certainly, that's a question that you would like answered. Is that correct?
Yes,
And it certainly appeared to be at least trying to arrange a drug exchange. Is that correct?
I think it was clear that the person was asking if you had scripts. Derek said, give me 10, and then there's no other replies that I see in that thing, so I don't know.
You don't know if there was a face-to-face meeting after that. Is that correct?
I do not.
And nobody's tried to figure out who that other number was, texting Mr. Pedrin. Is that correct?
No, I actually, when that was brought up, I did interview that person and identified the phone number.
Not until trial was well underway. Is that correct?
When you first brought it up, that's when that afternoon I tracked down the person, found out the circumstances of it and what the drug was that was talked about and the reasons why.
Nobody thought that this was important enough to ask Mr. Pedrin in the last 3 years.
I didn't ask him, no.
Now, if it was Xanax, it would appear to be a relatively fresh supply before Alex Xavier's death. Is that fair?
I don't know that there's a freshness of Xanax.
It would appear that it would be a relatively recent re-up. That's a better way of asking it.
I don't know what you're referring to.
Never heard the term re-up before in drug investigations?
I have, for sure, but not in the way that it's worded right there in those 4 lines.
This would be 2 days before Alex died. Fair?
That's when those messages were correct.
Now, you've been sitting through this entire trial. Until Mr. Pedrin testified, did you know that he was selling drugs to others?
I don't believe so.
Certainly, that's something that you would want to know about Mr. Pedrin when trying to determine the source of this Xanax. Is that correct?
That's one way, yes.
And you saw him testify that he admitted to obtaining Xanax from his supplier, correct?
Yes.
He admitted to arranging a transaction for scripts on February 9th. Is that correct?
Your Honor, I don't think he admitted to a transaction. He admitted that those messages were contained in his cell phone record.
Modified the question.
He admitted to that message or that message chain being present on his cell phone. Is that correct?
Yes.
And then we learned on redirect that Mr. Pedrin was also apparently selling Adderall. Is that correct?
I believe yes, so yes.
Now, he didn't know. You're aware, certainly in this case, from listening to Dr. Quinton, that Xanax was sufficient to cause death in and of itself. Is that correct?
He did testify to that, yes.
In fact, he testified that Xanax was crucial to the death. Is that correct?
I don't recall his specific wording of crucial.
So we've got a case here where you have somebody who died, quite possibly, by the ingestion of this illegally obtained drug. Is that a fair way to summarize it?
Yes.
And that is a very serious crime in this state, to deliver a fatal drug to another, causing their death.
It can be, yes.
So what we call the Len Bias homicide, correct?
Again, Your Honor, I'm going to object to the specific.
Ask
Right.
more specific questions.
And in that case, you're going to want to identify the source of this drug that killed somebody. Is that correct?
Can you repeat the
In
question?
the case of a drug overdose death, you're going to want to identify the source of the substance that killed somebody.
Potentially, yes.
And just to clarify on the information about Adderall, was Jenna Love in prison still as of February 9th of 2023?
Yes.
In other words, it appears unlikely that he would have been getting Adderall from her during that time frame. Is that fair?
Correct.
Now, at the point that Mr. Pedrin testified, he identified his drug supplier. Is that correct?
I believe it, yes.
Will that person be investigated as a source of the Xanax in Alex Xavier's death?
Your Honor, objection to relevance.
Overruled.
Yeah.
I guess we'll have to see where we go from here. Yes, potentially.
Will Mr. Pedrin be interviewed or investigated about his role in procuring Xanax to that home?
Your Honor, I would object to this. Mr. Pedrin has admitted since March of 2023 that he was the one who brought the Xanax into the home. The question is who gave it or was using it. I think we're going down this line of questioning, and the facts are already in evidence that he admits that he brought it into the home.
I think it's getting redundant. The answer is yes, they'll investigate. Go ahead.
Okay. And you've investigated many drug cases in your career, is that fair?
I've investigated some, yes.
You're familiar with people who use drugs. Generally, you've interviewed addicts.
Yes,
You've interviewed drug dealers.
yes.
Is it fair to say that when somebody's buying illegal drugs, they tend to know what it costs going into that transaction?
I would say that they know the ballpark of what the cost.
Generally speaking, after a transaction, somebody's going to know what those drugs cost them.
Yes,
All right. So of the text messages that we've seen, and we've seen a lot, do you agree with me that there was not a series of 10 or more text messages of Ms. Dikeman asking Mr. Pedrin to procure her Xanax?
I don't know the total number.
Well, we didn't see any of them. Is that fair?
I don't believe so.
And you're aware that Mr. Pedrin claimed that these text messages would exist?
I'm not sure. I believe he said something similar to that, but I don't know.
Did it concern you at all that this comment of Mr. Pedrin arranging these drug transactions was not corroborated by the telephone record?
I recall Agent Haverly speaking to us about Xanax and the procurement of Xanax. I don't remember the specific conversation.
You agree that in the texts that we've seen and we reviewed in this trial, that content is nowhere to be found. Is that correct?
Correct.
And does that concern you, Sergeant Amundsen, that Mr. Pedrin claimed those messages would be there and they have not been produced?
If you're referring to the messages that have been viewed in court, they're not there.
Yes.
We have not been shown those.
Well, you haven't been shown any messages consistent with what Derek testified to about Josie texting him to pick up Xanax. Is that correct?
You have not been shown anything in open court with those messages, correct?
You haven't been shown anything at all of those messages in the complete Cellbrite download.
I believe there are messages in the complete Celebrate downloads that include talk about picking up prescriptions.
Okay, and if these messages existed, Sergeant, you agree that nobody wrote a police report on that?
I don't know. I'd have to review all the reports.
In fact, you sent the Cellbrite data to a specialist at the Division of Criminal Investigation for specific forensic analysis looking for Xanax content. Is that correct?
Correct. It was sent to an analyst.
Okay. And that was Michelle Wright?
Correct.
An analyst, Wright, is somebody whose experience you rely upon to sort out these text messages or content on a phone. Is that correct?
Yes.
And nowhere in, I can't remember if Michelle is male or female, but nowhere in analyst Wright's report did they note that there were a bunch of text messages from Josie asking Derek for drugs. Is that correct?
What do you mean by a bunch?
We've got the one text from July 6th of 2021 that you've already testified to, correct?
Yes.
Nowhere in analyst Wright's report do they mention that there are several text messages from Ms. Dikeman to Mr. Pedron apparently seeking out the purchase of prescription drugs.
Your Honor, on objective vagueness, I think we need to be specific about if Xanax was specifically mentioned or not.
Yeah, are you saying Xanax or any drugs? Go ahead.
I'm asking about Xanax.
Right.
Xanax.
You're using the word Xanax specific.
Xanax, alprazolam, Xanny, any street name referencing that.
Not a lot, no.
Now, prior to Mr. Tedron's testimony, were you aware that he was threatening to kill Ms. Dikeman?
No.
You agree with me that it's against the law to threaten to murder people?
Yes.
We have a number of crimes that outlaw that. Is that fair to say?
It depends on the context of the threat and the reasons behind it, but yes.
Had Mr. Pedron informed you or any other investigator to your knowledge before he testified that he was telling people in the community that he planned to murder Ms. Dikeman?
I do not know that.
That's certainly something you would have noted. Is that correct?
Correct.
Will Mr. Pedron be investigated as a result of his admitted
Your Honor,
threats?
I object to relevance.
Yeah. I think it's staying.
Mr. Pedron was not arrested after he admitted to this on the witness stand, was he?
No.
Now, on here. In terms of the source of the Xanax, you heard from multiple people in the course of your investigation that Alex was known to get up and get into things in the middle of the night.
Can you repeat that? Because you talked about Xanax and then something
Sure.
else.
You heard from multiple witnesses that Alex was known to get up, move around, and get into things at night. Is that correct?
Correct.
And you heard that from Mr. Pedron himself. Is that correct?
I believe you said that, yes.
Laura Rains,
Yes.
Ms. Dikeman?
I believe she told that to Lieutenant Williams.
Sure. And you're unaware, Sergeant, whether or not Mr. Pedron was in possession of Xanax on February 10th of 2023.
I am not.
You are aware that Mr. Pedron was on the ground floor prior to his arrest in February of 2023.
Yes.
You have no idea if Mr. Pedron concealed Xanax in an area close to where Alex Xavier would have been.
I do not know that.
You have no idea if Mr. Pedron gave Alex Xavier a Xanax to calm him down before that welfare check.
I do not have that information, no.
You have no idea whether or not Mr. Pedron concealed that Xanax in front of Alex where you would know where to look for it.
I do not know.
And nobody can rule out that Alex got into Xanax that Mr. Pedron brought into that home. Is that correct?
Correct.
Judge, I'm about to go into another section here. If we want to break for lunch or.
Let's have a break for lunch. Okay, we'll be back at 1:15. Just, I do want to, I'm going to tell you this now because I don't want to necessarily tell you later today. Obviously, we're running a bit behind. And so one of my ideas is that we go a little bit later tomorrow and the next day, not tonight because I didn't give you fair warning, but we go maybe till about 6 o'clock tomorrow and the next day, and see if we need it the next day. I'm letting you know if it's conflict with times and stuff for other things, just let us know. But I've been sort of promising 4:30, and if I go later, I wouldn't want to give you a fair notice that might happen. with the attempt to try to resolve this week. So having said that, enjoy your lunch. We'll see you after lunch at 1:15. Just a few things on there. Okay. How much more?
At least an hour, Judge.
Okay. 15.
Our witnesses are going to start arriving around 1.
I'm just trying to guess here, 3:45 or 4, maybe be done with. We should ask the state, you intend to call another witness or?
Not at this point, Judge.
All right. All right, be back about 1:10. Go from there. Oh, I'm sorry. Was there anything we need to talk about from this last bit of testimony from the state's perspective
No, Your Honor.
or defense?
I don't think we had a sidebar.
Yeah, I don't think there was. So, okay, thank you.
What is 260?
Okay. Okay, you just have copies there? Great. Okay, I was looking for that one today and I'm like, okay. Yes, okay. Should I take it now if we're gonna need it after lunch? Okay, thank you.